reason why the guy hasn't touched his girl in a week because he already off in the sock because she's been nagging at him all week. Let's talk about it. But nobody talks about that.
Stop. They'd be like, okay, like I'll go away. And I'm like, no, don't go away. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want you to go away. Actually, don't talk either. Just don't say anything, but just sit there and just be here with me, and let's just keep each other company, and we'll turn on the TV and we'll eat food and we'll be here with each other while we do this. But don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't touch me, like just kind of freaking leave me alone. Yeah. Instagram models and OnlyFans girls, like where the hell did this come from? And I was like, I don't know, like I didn't follow any of those people. It just happened. Like, I had one girl who told me that other guys were flirting with her, and same thing. I was just like, yeah, I don't care. A little while later, she cheats on me, and I break up with her, and I was like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. Like, why would you do this? And she's like, I told you that other guys were flirting with me, and you didn't even care. So you don't even like me. Like, you just don't like me at all. And so I'm not gonna stay in a relationship with somebody who doesn't even like me. And I was like, I do like you. What are you talking about? Like, I don't know why you're making such a big deal about this. Like, I just don't care if guys flirt with you, but they wanted me to be jealous to make them feel wanted. Like, I need to be jealous to make them feel wanted by me.
So, you know what's funny? I believe it or not, I actually agree. I love the way you are, because that's exactly how my man is right now. But I think it only got there because
she has a butt.
That you want like big, gracious butts, like, you know, the wobbly kind.
No. If you look at my YouTube Shorts feed, it's like a bunch of chicks doing yoga and crap like that.
Stop. You're low key.
It's
I don't know what. You're like low-key so unhinged. Okay.
Up on stream all the time and just sit and watch her streams for a while.
Stop. Okay.
We have Coomer streams, so we'll just like pull up chicks and just sit and just be like, oh yeah, she's freaking fire, dude. Let's go.
Wait, what kind of streams are those called?
Coomer streams.
The fuck is Coomer?
It's like it's a internet degenerate word for somebody who's just like a horn dog. They're called Coomers. Is this like simp culture then, or no? Is this considered simping? Yeah, but I mean, if you're dating somebody 10 years older than you, it sounds like you probably find like assertiveness attractive then, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, like because of my background, where I come from, like I don't have like the stability, and I found it attractive. There was somebody who knew his direction in life. So like I was like very like, oh my god, I'm inspired, and all this stuff. And for him, he was very cold, very black and white, very like by the books with everything. And I would say like survival mindset, which is why I aligned with the red pill stuff. But like when him and I started building like a healthier relationship, to be where we're at now, I recognized like he was never gonna get out of that mindset until I became emotionally and mentally like independent and stopped depending on him to lead the relationship. Because even though he could, it doesn't necessarily mean it was healthy. And that's why I can't stand the red pill stuff, because these guys speak as if they're women. And I'm like, you're not a woman. So like you say, I want to lead the relationship. How do you know how to lead a woman's like part in the relationship if you're not a woman? It doesn't make any sense. So I mean, I think like I've watched him kind of grow out of his like survival mindset, like out of the deficit of thinking like, you know, life sucks. It's more so like now you have room to like gamble a little bit and to like tap into other parts of your life that you usually just suppress and avoid. And I think that's a healthier set.
Well, when you came on, so it sounds like you're saying that there are like kind of gender roles within a relationship. When we did a panel recently, that was one of the topics on there. And I know that I had people on there who disagree that they're like, that people should continue in relationships with traditional gender roles. And they just sat there like quiet the whole time, just like nodding their heads while everybody else was like, yeah, like traditional gender roles within relationships are obviously going to continue, and they're kind of beneficial to society and blah blah blah. And I know these people disagreed with it, and they just didn't say anything, and so we just didn't end up having much of a debate on that. It was kind of frustrating.
Oh. Yeah. See, but I think that there we should at least like we started off that way, but like now we're both just kind of like if there's like something to be watched, we both don't mind doing it. Like we just I think the biggest thing in life is to know how to do everything, but then like have the privilege to do it when you want to. And I think a lot of people don't have that privilege, and it's frustrating because like I think relationships are complementary in the beginning. Like men and women have things that we probably are weak in and we're deficit in, and things that you're strong at, maybe I'm not. And we get together and we want to do it for each other out of love. And then we learn how to like develop, how do I say this? Like basically I think with me and him, like I've learned so much about him and he's learned so much about me that we want to do it for each other, even though we can do it for ourselves. If that makes any sense. Maybe. Maybe not. Is there a lag? Maybe not.
No, sorry, I just got a message and was reading something real quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
No worries.
I think that that's generally the way that most people do it in relationships as well. And this is one of the things that like I keep having to explain is yeah, when people talk about like so my last relationship also I was 10 years older than her. Uh and when I explain like that dynamic to people, they're like, "Oh, so you're just in charge just because you have a penis and you just boss her around and tell her what to do all the time." And I was like, It's not really how it is. Like, there's the things that like she knows better than me, and that like that she's gonna have like more insight on and crap like that. But it's just kind of like a general way of looking at the relationship. But that's not like you're making it sound like that's the way it is in every little instance of our lives, and that's just not the case. That's not how it actually works. And so yeah, I think the way that you're talking about it makes it make a lot more sense, and that people don't people don't think about it that way, where they hear it and
No.
they think, oh, okay, so you're just a slave then. You're just they're
Yeah.
just bossing you around all day.
No, I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I'm a big ass simp for him, and he's a big ass simp for me. I think that's like a healthy dynamic. I think like I can be the biggest asshole online, and then I like get to turn the switch off when I'm with him. And I think that's like so much better than being an asshole all day long. I have zero fucking desire to do that. I think like I don't know, it's something about this dynamic and the balance that people don't have. They just think you're supposed to be the same face. That's why I hate the whole facts over feelings thing, because they make it seem like there's no facts in the feelings. Like there is obviously why somebody reacts this way. Let's get down to the root of it. I don't think the red pill focuses on that shit enough. Like they just kind of like demonize every feeling. And I'm like, there's a reason why the guy hasn't touched his girl in a week, because he already whacked off in the sock because she's been nagging at him all week. Let's talk about shit. But nobody talks about that. I need water.
That
Sorry, was that too vulgar?
No, it's fine. You know, I noticed like you actually talk so much differently than you did like a year ago. You're like the way that you speak, the way that you like carry yourself, it's so much different than it was a year
Yeah,
ago.
I've changed a lot. But again, like I worked in the nail salon for like over 10 years, and the type of women that I worked with and customers, it kept me so angry and so miserable. And I was like on defense mode 90% of the time dealing with people. So majority of the time someone was always trying to pull a fast one over me. The employees were always trying to like take off. So I really couldn't be like who I am now. Like I'm so much happier now. I can laugh when I want to laugh. I can joke when I want to joke. I can be aware of them being too much. Like back then, I didn't give a shit how anyone felt. It was more so like how I felt, because I'm in like survival mode, and it was more so like I needed to make sure that I could pay the rent and make sure my family was safe and all that crap. But since I moved to Miami and they like watched me grow online and stuff, they've been like more open to, okay, like this is the leader crap that kicks in, because half the time when you want to do something different, I notice that people are scared. Like whether it's your partner or your family, so that they're not stopping you because they're trying to stop you from dreaming. It's because they're scared that if you fail, they can't save you. And I think that people don't see that. And it's a big pressure, but if you do it successfully and you do it with grace, I think that people are more empathetic, and like now my family are more empathetic to what I do, and they're not like pressuring me to like make it or whatever the fuck it is. Like they let me be, because they know like wow, like she kind of broke the cycle and did something that makes her happy. And when I see them, I'm in a way better mood. I'm not a dick. And I could joke around the awkward stuff and I could also confront it. Like, it isn't just one act of being an asshole all the time because I'm frustrated at the rules that I don't know how to do, but I have to do, which I think that happens a lot to men, happens a lot to women. That's why like these relationships get super toxic because like you're forced to work your 9 to 5. You're coming home to someone that you thought was going to be super happy and sweet with you, but then now she's angry because you're not buying her flowers or hugging her. So we have a chicken and egg situation with men and women 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always struggled with that. Like, I'm really bad at compliments. I'm really bad at like gestures and things like that. Like, I don't
But
know
it's
why.
normal.
Oh,
You know what's
I don't
funny?
even like getting them myself a lot of the times. Like, they make me feel uncomfortable as well. So I assume everybody else is like me. And then I've started figuring out, no, everybody else is not like me. They like these things. And
Yeah.
it's always been like an issue for me that I need to like try to improve on. Because yeah, that's not, I've always been bad at like trying to like show them that I like them or that I cared for them or like, you know, that I like wanted them around or something. Because lots of times, especially when I would work a lot, I would come home and just be like, dude, just like freaking chill, just like stop talking, just just like like just stop. And they'd be like, okay, like I'll go away. And I'm like, no, don't go away. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want you to go away. Where are you going? Like,
So right there, that exact situation that happens a lot. That happened to us, and so I come from like my mom and dad was super domestically violent with each other. So I made it a note to any relationship I'm in. I'm like, we're gonna fucking communicate with this. We're not gonna ball our fists up. We're not gonna walk out. We're gonna talk about this. So with my man in the beginning, he was kind of like, I think a lot of men are like that. We're like, when you're in that mindset of like, I've had a rough day, I don't want to talk, I don't want to be mean to you, I just don't want to talk because there's still like a set of priorities that you're probably still in my fun. I realized with him he was lacking in, like whether it was like good food, good sex, good conversation, like things like that where it was like you're getting enough to get by but not enough to where your cup is full.
mhm.
And we set some like healthy boundaries. Or like, listen, if I do this and this, will that make you happy? He's like, yes. He's like, okay. He's like, if I do this and this, would that make you happy? I was like, yes. So we made it a note that if we're like fucking having a rough day, to verbalize like, hey, shitty day today, got my ass chewed out. We've had like a spot in our house where it's like the chill out like cave where it's like, you know, you can come in, but we're sitting there in fucking incense and zenning. Someone's getting a blowjob or someone's bringing in a hot plate of food, or like leave me alone in here by myself. It's one or the other. And I think like those things are the beginning of it. And whenever someone does something right, I've learned to like normalize the compliment. Like I'll like, hey, I really like that you did that. And he mentioned the other day, he goes like, when you, oh, I was like, oh, I think that's really cute that you do that. He's like, what does it mean when you say that? Like, I should continue doing that, or is that like you're looking at me like a child and I shouldn't do that anymore? I think like him learning that it was okay to ask me that instead of me shitting on him, because I think women tend to make men feel like insecure without realizing it. So
Mhm.
I was like, no, I say that because I'm encouraging that it's okay to be that way. I like that part of you. And I think that because women and men don't know how to ask or communicate with each other and create that safe space, we tend to overlook these little things that make the relationship stronger and fonder of each other. Am I saying too much? I feel like I'm
No,
just going off a tangent.
no, this is good.
um, but yeah, I noticed that with him, like he's improved so much and it's improved me. So I think it's hard to grow by yourself as a person because there's no one challenging you. But when you
Mhm.
have someone that you care about, whether it's a child or, you know, a partner, it forces you to tap into other areas that you can usually be selfish in.
Yeah, yeah, I think. Well, so I never wanted to actually be alone, but I don't like when the other person's like they want to like cuddle or they want to like be touching me the whole time or crap like that. That's where I get like antsy and I'm like, dude, chill, like get off of me, like stop, just freaking
Wait,
leave
wait,
me.
wait. If somebody does that and only like teases you, is that why? Or if somebody like did that but led up to like giving you like the intimate part, would it bother you as much? Because I noticed that some women do it out of like love, just to hug and touch a guy, but she doesn't follow through with the whole action. And it's like, stop fucking teasing me if you're not gonna do the
No,
whole thing.
no,
Or
no, no, that's not it at all. Because like lots of times, like you know, watching a movie, I'd like go and just lay down on the couch, and she'd want to lay down with me, um, and I I just want to lay down, but like I'm tired, I'm exhausted, like me being up against somebody else is just kind of I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. Like I just I want you there, just go sit over like over there and
what
then
about
be
she like
here with
massage
me.
you? Like, is that normal?
Yeah,
Or no
no,
massage?
yeah, no. She wanted like that. That's like she would try to like, yeah, massage me or like, you know, give me a foot rub or
You didn't
something.
like the
And
massage either?
I just don't like being touched when I'm really tired. Like I want to be awake and I
Wow.
want to watch TV and I want to eat and I want to like, but when they start touching me, all of a sudden like it just feels like I'm like, I don't know, like I'm being caved in on or something. Like it's just too much. I become claustrophobic out of nowhere and I'm just like, yo, just like freaking get off. But if I'm not tired, I haven't gone to work yet, or I've got a day off or something. Yeah, like I'll spend the whole day just like, you know, with my arm around you or cuddling or laying down together or whatever, like no big deal. But yeah, if I'm tired or like I had like a long day at work or something, yeah, I just don't want to be touched. I don't want like, and it's really frustrating for her when she gets off work and she just really wants to like be the little spoon for a while and just feel like safe and comfortable and crap like that. And it's like, yeah, not me, dude. Just like go somewhere else. Just like, I want you to be here, just not here, like over there here. But like we can talk, like actually don't talk either, just don't say anything, but just sit there and just be here with me and let's just keep each other company and we'll turn on the TV and we'll eat food and we'll be here with each other while we do this. But don't like don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't touch me, like just kind of freaking leave me alone. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one yet, to be really honest.
It seems to be a common thing too, because I didn't realize what it was, but I knew I was getting frustrated with her over and over. And she would like, you know, put her arm around me and I would just like move her arm and she would get annoyed and be like, you know, hey, I want to cuddle, blah, blah, blah. And I think she sent me like a TikTok or something where it was a guy who was saying like, yeah, I want you to be here, but not here, like over there here, or like, you know, don't talk, but like, just like be in the vicinity of
Right.
me, but not like really like with me, but like just kind of like stand around the corner and just stay there. But don't go anywhere. Don't leave. I don't want you to leave. Like, you know, because that's what it's like. If I think a lot of times women will feel like you just don't want them around. Like, okay, he just doesn't want me around. He doesn't like me anymore. Or like I'm annoying him or something like that. And that's not the case. Like, this is a very common thing with guys where they want you around. They just don't want you like right up against them the whole time.
I feel like, okay, so in the beginning of our relationship, it was like that, but because that's what I was taught, like from my uncles and stuff, like that's how men are. But then, like later on, like where I am now, I questioned my uncle, and he was like, the reason why I am like that is he was like the priority things that I want. He was like, my wife won't give it to me on the terms of being happy. Like she'd do it out of like it's a chore, and he's like, then I'd feel like shit. So he's like, a lot of that antisocial effect came from just not wanting to ask, not wanting to beg, just wanting to be left alone. So I applied that to my relationship, and then we actually got into a lot of fights because of that. Because he was like, you know, I'm annoyed with the world. I'm not annoyed with you. I was like, okay, but like I don't want to bother you. And he was like, okay, but you're not bothering me. Is that possible to bother me? I was like, okay. I was like, well, can we name shit that I could do to make sure that I know I'm not fucking annoying you? Because I could be pretty annoying. So I think once we set those boundaries, it was pretty cool. And then I found out like maybe sometimes men just maybe I could be wrong. Maybe there's just certain things that men selfishly want when they're annoyed. They don't want to, you know, state it. And I could be wrong. And that's I just ask him like, what are the things you want? I'll do it just to make you feel better. And it works when he's happier and now we're in a better atmosphere and it works. But I guess for you, you're just really antisocial, Tom. It's a
That's not
thing.
antisocial because I still want to be around the person. I don't want them to like go away. I still want them to be there and I'll still talk to them and whatever. But like, yeah, it's just the like constant, like right up against each other, touching all the time. And like that is
Like,
just
okay,
like,
so seriously, not even like a foot massage or like a blow job or something? Like that doesn't make your day better?
no, yeah,
Really?
well, and so that was the thing is lots of times she would be like, okay, like he doesn't want to cuddle. Maybe like we just like do something sexual and then he'll be happy with it. And I'm still like, no, chill, Go, like, dude, I'm tired. Like, why would I want
I
to
mean,
like,
I've never seen a man turn down one of those. That's why I'm like blown away a little bit. Like what? And
oh
like with
yeah,
mine,
no.
like he works out, so he's always sore. So there's that too. So I was like, I mean, something's gonna alleviate the stress, whether it's mental, physical, like whatever it is, like that works
Well,
out.
so
So
I'm talking about like I was working insane hours. Like I was working like 12, 13, 14-hour days consistently without days off for weeks and weeks sometimes. And so like the stress and this is how I am when I get stressed out too. Like if say like one of my bosses like sends me a text and they're like, hey, we really need to talk, come into the office tomorrow. Like if I'm stressed for the rest of that day, it's still going to be the same thing. Like I just like, I don't want to be around people. I don't kind of like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to like, I'll tell you what's going on, but then that's kind of it. Like I don't want to like, you know, have to like keep explaining my feelings over and over and all of this. Like it's just what I just got to wait until it happens and see what the hell is going on, and then that's the end of it. But I don't want to sit and talk about the fact that it's happening or like that this is stressful or anything like that. And then same thing, like yeah, they'll want to make me feel better and want to like come and like give me a massage or go out or something, and I'm just like, nah dude, just like chill, just like just be here, just like just hang out.
I guess I'm not used to hearing that, but I mean, I've also been in a relationship forever, so maybe that's a different story too.
Yeah.
I guess like from most people, from what I hear, they're always coming from like a deficit point in their life where it's just like I'm lacking happiness and like whether fulfillment and food or entertainment or sex or whatever it could be. So to me, like if you're having a bad day, I would assume like that would make it a little bit better. But I also get what you're saying also because you're saying like it was like really rough days and you just want to like decompress. So maybe that's the thing.
That's
Also,
exactly
so.
what it was. Yes, I needed to decompress. That's exactly what it was. It was like I just need to just kind of chill. And I went like a long period where I wasn't in relationships, maybe like 6-7 years where I just wasn't in a relationship and I was just working on myself for a long time. And I think I got too used to being alone as well. Like I think I got too used to being alone and being like just doing my own thing and being able to like just sit with my own thoughts and sit by myself and just kind of just like work through things alone. And then when other people want in on that, it's kind of annoying. Like it's a
Yeah.
little, and I always felt bad, but I at the same time I like, I don't know what to tell you. Like this is just how it is.
I think living with people, it takes a toll on the relationship a lot too. Like it's kind of hard. I have to say, like, living with somebody is really hard, but I'm thankful because we both work a lot, and sometimes he leaves to go out of town, which is like my stream days of the day that he doesn't come home, or if he does, he comes home like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. So to me, it's like okay, like I get to like do whatever the fuck I want. So when I do see him, I have to like my mental Rolodex is like, all right, we gotta make this fucking moment work because we don't see each other enough. But when you're
Mhm.
around each other all day long, or like you both work and then you both come home at the same time and you don't have any time to yourself, that shit is fucking annoying.
Yep.
So that's another thing that I think a lot of people struggle with when it comes to like dating.
Yeah. Well, especially like you said, like yeah, let's say you don't live together and you see each other like a couple of times a week, but once in a while the couple times is like while the other person's just freaking exhausted, like you can make them think that you're uh like you just don't like them or something. Like I've heard tons of guys talk about this, is that they work a lot and then their girlfriend will come over after they get off work and they don't want to have sex, and the girl thinks that they're just not attracted to them and thinks like guys always want sex, so like there's something wrong with him, like there's something wrong with me if he doesn't want that. And guys are like, I hear this all the time, that they're like explaining like I don't know how to tell somebody that like I'm just like all the other guys, just sometimes I don't want sex. Like it's not that rare for guys to just not want to have sex sometimes. And that was definitely me. Like a lot of times I would just be like too tired, too stressed, too exhausted to even like think about doing something like that. Even just laying there and letting her do her thing was too much of an exertion to even like contemplate. Like that was just like, nah dude, that's still too much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fair, fair. Wait, how old are you again? I don't know how old you are.
34. I'll turn 35 in November.
Okay, no. Oh wow, you have the same birthday. Oh, that's cool. Ish. Um. All right, good to know. Wait. So, are you currently dating or not dating?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
know that the last relationship didn't end very well. And so then other girls that I was seeing consistently I would tell them like up front, like I'm just not interested in having a girlfriend or like having any sort of commitment to you or you having any sort of commitment to me. And every time they would be like, yeah, 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 I understand. No problem, no problem. And then like we'd get like a couple months in and I'd be like, just remember, like I'm telling you, I'm not going to change my mind on this. Like I'm pretty set on just not wanting to be in relationships anymore. And they're, oh yeah, 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 no problem. And then again, like couple months later, they're like, I don't know, I thought I could change you. Like I thought I could get you to be interested in me. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought you kept telling me, but I felt like I could eventually get you to be interested in me. And so now they're like, I can't do this anymore because I want it to just be a thing where it's just us and you don't ever talk to anybody else, or I can ask you if you're talking to other girls and and you actually like have to tell me or something. And I was like, yeah, it's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Like it's never gonna happen.
Would you say that guys generally know who they want to be in a relationship with? Like it doesn't take long.
Not really, no, because so the physical attraction part is like again something that guys end up prioritizing a lot. So there's so much that goes into this. So like a lot of times like your experience in high school and college really changes what you're attracted to. So if you're like a fat nerd, you're only able to get with other fat nerd girls, and then your your attraction and what you find attractive changes and starts to like widen, and not even just widen, but sometimes moves over to that thing. Like I've heard tons of fat guys be like, ew, models, they're all such sticks, like they're just too skinny, they need more meat on their bones, like and they're like totally just not attracted to what most people would consider like the just like the uh prototypical woman. Like they don't find that attractive whatsoever, and so their attraction changes. But once they're attracted to that thing, that is like a thing that like really motivates them in a relationship, and they're like they've got the person that really like gets them going. Then the more she fits that stereotype, the more they're willing to compromise on other things, and uh the more they're willing to compromise on something like if they want her to be somebody who makes really good food, like, well, she's attractive enough, like I don't care about the food so much anymore. Like that would be cool, but like she's that attractive to where I just don't care about the food anymore. And so it's like that's why I keep putting it in like a priority list sort of thing, to where like there's more and more things that you're willing to compromise on the more you like that person and the more you feel like you mesh well with them. And yeah, yeah, there was like there was a girl that I dated that I felt like what like fit me perfectly from just like top to bottom, not just in attraction but like personality, everything. And so when she would do things that really pissed me off, I was very quickly just didn't care all that much because all of the other things were cool. And so I was always like, or sorry, things that should piss me off or things that would normally piss me off just didn't, because I cared about all of the other things enough to where this just no longer mattered to me anymore.
But do you think you could tolerate that long enough for it to be like a healthy relationship, or is that just like a temporary thing?
Well, it depends on that person, right? So like I've talked about the fact that lots of times when I'm in relationships with girls, I don't care if they flirt with other guys. Like that means nothing to me. It doesn't bother me. I'm not like a jealous person. But but I think that is partly I'm probably compromising on some things that maybe I would care about, but I just choose not to care about it because I like them enough. And so I think if that person is somebody who can go flirt with other guys and talk to them and never actually like be tempted or never actually cheat on me, then sure, like it's not a big deal. I flirt with girls and talk to girls all the time, and I'm never actually tempted to cheat on the girl that I'm with. And so I assume that they're capable of doing the same thing.
Really? So wait. Okay, I didn't expect that. Um, so if a girl that you're dating flirts with a guy, what's considered flirting?
Um, so okay, so I had a girlfriend who cried one time telling me that a guy kept complimenting her and telling her how good she looked and she really liked it, and so she started complimenting him back and that she felt really bad and guilty about it. And I was like, I don't care. Like, that's fine. Like, do you think he's good looking? She's like, yeah, he's good looking. I was like, cool. Like, I don't. I think other girls are good looking too. I don't know if you know this, but I see other women sometimes and I think they're good looking. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Okay, so maybe I come from a point of like, I think complimenting people isn't a bad thing, but like, what's the context behind it? I think like I'll
well,
talk to
so
people on these panels.
she would get mad. So I do you know what Coin Piggy is on Instagram? It's this thing that hacks everybody's Instagram accounts and then goes and follows a ton of people that work with them. So if they're like a sponsored by Coin Piggy or whatever, they will hack tons of uh, Instagram accounts and then get that Instagram account now follows all of the people who sponsor them and tons of other Coin Piggy accounts. And lots of the girls who do this stuff are like Instagram models and like Kardashians and stuff like this. I got hacked. I never used Instagram, never used it whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, next day, I'm following like uh, a couple thousand accounts. And my girlfriend gets on my Instagram and she's like, what the hell, dude? Since when do you follow a bunch of Instagram models and OnlyFans girls? Like, where the hell did this come from? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I didn't follow any of those people. It just happened. Like, you can go see that like half the accounts that I follow say Coin Piggy on them. Like, I don't, I don't know what happened, but I got hacked and now I follow all these accounts. And she was like really upset. If I had actually followed all of these girls and I'm looking at all of these Instagram model accounts and crap like that, yeah, that would really upset her. Like, she would not be happy with that, uh, with me doing that. So it's like it's obviously not a two-way street a lot of times, and I don't think that always matters all that much. But yeah, like for her, something that small is a big enough deal. But for me, I would never care about something that small.
I think that I don't know. I think it's really strange to hear this, but like when you say that you're cool with like your girlfriend like flirting with somebody, like I think like I guess we have to define what the fuck flirting is because I'll compliment. I have no problem complimenting men. Like I'll like say like I don't know, like I was on a panel with someone like I like the way you carry yourself, or somebody was like fit. I was like, oh, you're pretty fit. Like you take care of yourself, X, Y, Z. I think that's like the context when it was like me just giving him credit where it was due, due to the conversation. But it wasn't like me flirting with him. Like guys would be like, "Hey, girl, you're beautiful," and then waiting for me to reply to be like, "Oh, thanks." Like, "Yeah, you free Saturday night or some shit." Like, there's context behind that because he wants to like, like hang out with me or something like that. So when your girlfriend's flirting with a guy, isn't that like opening a door to like him possibly wanting to hang out with her beyond like just being friends or whatever?
Sure, but it's again, I know that I have the restraint to like compliment a girl and then maybe she thinks I like her. And so now if she wants to hang out with me, I know I'm going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not, like, I'm dating somebody. I'm not interested, right? I know like for certain that that's just always going to be the way that I am and the way that I engage with people. Um, and so I assume the same from other people. And it seems to be a mistake pretty consistently from me to assume that same uh, thing from other people. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, because like you named earlier how you said that men and women have different priorities in a relationship or when they're looking for a relationship. So I think like by you saying that and then by you kind of hoping that she would probably see it from your perspective as if you guys have the same priorities, where like you're able to compartmentalize and say like I'm just like complimenting or flirting. This is like a momentarily thing and I don't take it with me beyond this experience or this moment. But like with women, because I would have to say we prioritize like our feelings and our emotions first with how we feel, how we,
Hmm.
at that moment. It kind of like, okay, and then we start comparing, and if I'm correct, but like, I believe most women, um, like with me, if I'm able to sit here and like compliment a guy and flirt with him and go beyond whatever the fuck it is, I'm probably lacking that in my personal relationship because like my emotions are already tied to him. And the fact that I'm able to sit here with another guy, I would feel completely guilty doing that.
Well, that's what I'm
Um,
saying. Like, she literally calls me like crying that that this happened because she felt guilty about it, and I was totally like, she's sitting there crying about it. I'm kind of laughing. I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a crap. Like, why are you telling me this? Like, I don't. That's fine. Like,
okay, I'm gonna say something that sounds almost racist, but most of my white friends are like,
well, I no. So I think you're actually like making a good point though, because I think flirting for women is more of like an emotional interaction for them. For me, like if I'm flirting with a girl, it's just fun to flirt with girls. Like it's just it's not, it doesn't mean something's lacking. It doesn't mean that I'm looking for something else. It doesn't mean that I actually have some sort of interest in her. But for a girl, it getting flirted with and her enjoying it could actually lead to her being attracted to this guy and wanting something more with him. And I think that, like you said, like guys may be able to compartmentalize those interactions a little bit better. And so because I know that's how I think and that's how I engage, I just assume that's the way that other people think and other people engage. And I've been proven wrong on this many times in many relationships over and over, that I am too trusting of these sorts of things. And then on top of that, I've literally had girls. I had one girl who told me that other guys were flirting with her, and same thing. I was just like, yeah, I don't care. A little while later, she cheats on me, and I break up with her, and I was like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. Like, why would you do this? And she's like, I told you that other guys were flirting with me and you didn't even care. So you don't even like me. Like you just don't like me at all. And so I'm not going to stay in a relationship with somebody who doesn't even like me. And I was like, I do like you. What are you talking about? Like I don't know why you're making such a big deal about this. Like I just don't care if guys flirt with you, but they wanted me
what's
to be
funny?
jealous to make them feel wanted. Like I need to be jealous to make them feel wanted by me.
So what's funny? I believe it or not, I actually agree. I love the way you are because that's exactly how my man is right now. But I think it only got there because we both know that there's like healthy, like you said, like the urge isn't there. We could if you wanted to, but the urge isn't there. But
Hmm.
most people, I believe, are very insecure in their relationships. So the constant need of like, reassurance is always gonna be there. Where like if you're not giving me the attention this person is, like something's off. And I think like if the relationship is secure, you seem like you're pretty secure with yourself. But I think like most girls are probably still trying to figure out why her man doesn't give a shit that other guys are coming at her. And like with me and him, like I have constant because I am online, he isn't online. I'm always like talking about these things, and I with him, he's always been like, I just want to know that you know how men think. Now that I know you know how men think, there's no like, oh, you're gonna get tricked or some shit, or like fooled into thinking that this is a friendship when they're trying to get in your pants. He's like, before, he was like, I was like overly protective and jealous. He's like, because it's not because I was like worried that we're talking to you. It's more so the fact like I know you're working on, you're passionate about it, but like it could easily come off as like you're being kind and this guy has a hidden agenda.
Hmm.
But because we're both open and aware with everything now, and I'm always like, I'll tell him like a conversation with like me and you, for example, and then I'll like break down the psyche, what I believe you're thinking, and whatever I think I'm talking to you about. And he's like, okay, that's accurate of how a man would think. Cool, check, done. We don't have to worry. So I don't worry, but I think most girls don't focus on the communication in the relationship enough to understand like it's not that the guy doesn't care. He doesn't want to spend his days being jealous. It's kind of a lot of work and it's fucking annoying. And the mental gymnastic shit is like, it's just not it. Like, we're getting too old for that.
Sure. So after that, that's kind of like one of the reasons I'm just not interested in relationships anymore, is because I think part of what I realized is that there, I don't know if this is like actually a lot of women are capable of what it is that I want. So like in my head, I think, well, I don't want to be with a woman that I can't trust. And so like I should be able to trust you to flirt with other guys and then not like never go past that. But I don't know if humans are actually capable of those sorts of interactions a lot of times without gaining feelings, like without it starting to build something within them. Even if they love you and that trust is there, that doesn't mean that this other interaction just isn't going to have any sort of effect on them. The ways that people engage with you can just kind of change the way that you think about them and the way that you interact with them. And so I started to feel like it's got to be like incumbent upon me to actually be jealous or at least act like I'm jealous, so that there are healthy boundaries on these relationships, so that because it's hard to think like, okay, this is gonna sound super stupid, but
It's okay.
you can be in a relationship and then afterwards, like, they cheat, you break up, you're not together anymore, okay, and you think, okay, they're a piece of shit, but maybe if I had like had stricter boundaries on this relationship, they never would have become that piece of shit, and the things could have worked out just fine for us, right? They need a certain type of relationship for them to feel secure, and for that to like, they need those boundaries, they need them, and if I don't give that to them, then they're just going to find somebody else who does have that boundary, so that they don't ever end up wandering off. And that this isn't like whether or not they're a piece of shit or not. This is more just about like human psyche, the way that we feel, the way that like hormones work, the way that just the way that we engage with people. And yeah, for me, I think, well, I just know I would never do this stuff. I just know this. Like, I just know for a fact, like, it's just not something that I've ever been interested in, and being tempted has never affected me whatsoever. But expecting others to be like me and think like me is probably, I might be a little weird in this area.
So I don't think you're weird in that sense. I think that the hardest part is that's where like sometimes I try to lean. Like I the red pill stuff sort of resonates with me in that sense where it's like a guy has to lead. In a sense where leading understanding like with the way that female nature, how we are, I think like understanding, like you said, you have to set up that stricter boundaries with women, not because you want to, because you realize that's what you kind of have to do to keep these relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's why some of the red pill shit works, but then it becomes an unhealthy environment because they try to use it to manipulate women. But in your case, it's like because you know that's what it takes to kind of keep. It's almost like dangling the toy in front of the child. Like it's just to keep the child entertained. And it's unfortunate, but I think like when you create that safe space for the woman, she starts looking around like, holy crap, like I'm at peace, I'm happy, I'm in love. And then she grows from that. And I think like that's kind of how my relationship was. I know I keep talking about my relationship, but it's the only fucking format I have that seems to be working out.
I'm giving my relationships as examples as well, so yeah.
Okay. So I think like I've noticed, like it started off with him essentially leading, I would have to say, with that format of like, you know, he's kind of like you, where it's like he wants to be left the fuck alone. But if there's gonna be someone there, he'd rather that person be also independent. But at the same time, he's like, but I kind of like this part. He's like, he's always said like, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm a man and like men need pussy, he was like, I probably would have never fucking been in a relationship. Is what he says all the time. And then like after understanding that, he like kind of grew to have more like empathy for women and understood like how we complement each other. And then from there on, it was more so like those rules were like there in the boundaries because I knew he's an asshole. He used to be the biggest asshole, the biggest whore. I was like, I don't even know how I even got here with him. But because I knew he could be like that dick, I like wanted to like be in this relationship with him because I was like, no, I want you to be nice to me, but like keep the asshole face for everyone else. Which I think essentially you hear girls say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that he had what it took to be like confident with everything he did. And I was like, that's cool. I like that. And assertive. So I think that by being that, it's not that you have to be an asshole. But I think like women would kind of stick around in the sense where it's like, damn, like Tom doesn't have a soft spot for anybody, but he does for me.
Yes.
And
no, I've literally talked about this many times that like that because I was the bad boy guy, right? Like I was like the guy with a criminal history and like did all this other crazy stuff, got into fights a ton. And I've talked about the fact that it seems like women a lot of times, they like that, like your, I forget who, somebody says something like, damn it, I don't remember what it is. It's something like, you know, you know how to use a sword, but it's always sheathed around her or something like that. Or like they want you to like be kind of like, so I had a girlfriend who told me, she's like, something about like your friends telling me about you getting in fights when you guys were younger, like just turns me on. She's like, I love hearing these stories. But also, I think if I ever saw you get in a fight, I would be afraid of you. But she's like, I like hearing about this stuff and then knowing that you're just this like super sweet, caring guy with me. But they all know you as this like crazy freaking beast that just runs around beating people up. She's like, I just, something about this I like about it. And I think that that's like one of the things that that attract women to like the bad boy stereotype is that, yeah, like they are like the special one that is, uh damn it, what's the like a Beauty and
I
the
think it's like
Beast sort of thing.
I think it's like the confidence in the assertive, like in your own life, and then the
Right.
fact that you're able to like lead that. Because I think like I've always mentioned like the way that women and men are when it comes to like trauma. Women don't mind going through trauma if there's somebody to go through trauma with her. Like she wants to feel like, all right, I'm suffering. Can you suffer with me so it's not as bad? And like with men, generally, they don't like suffering, but they have to. They rather suffer alone and then come out like they fix the problem on their own. They don't want to like project it or inflict it onto the people around them that they love, or even let them know they're going through it. And like that's one thing that I've had to learn about him and me. The younger me was like, I want to go through shit with somebody, so at least I know like I'm not the only one going through this. It's like the community mind, the way like the Me Too movement works. There's always like women in cults trying to like make each other feel better, and then with men, it's more so like pat each other's chest and we talk about how we're fine and we move the fuck on and we cope through fucking punching a hole or some shit. So it's like it's very different, and I think that if people recognize that, maybe we'd understand that we're just not the same. We're not the same.
I had a debate with Destiny a while ago about like how much of the ways that men and women engage is actually like some sort of like biological difference between the two of us, and he just seems to think that it's like almost none, like in the ways of like what we're in the ways that like we communicate or don't communicate, the ways that we talk about feelings or don't talk about feelings, the ways that we like have conversations, or all of these things, like what we care about, what we prioritize, what our goals are. Like, yeah, he just doesn't seem to think that there's much of a difference between any of that. But we do know that there's, in practice, there's a massive difference. Like there's a big gap between the way that men think, the way that they prioritize things, the like goals in conversations, the way that they process information, like what they're looking for in a conversation. They're all very, very different. And I guess regardless of whether or not they're biological or not, when you say, you know, we just need to recognize that we're all different. Lots of lefties hear this and they think, no, we don't. No, we just need to tell men to stop doing that. Like, we just need to tell them to stop being that way. And because that's toxic masculinity. And so they just need to kind of stop all of that crap. Stop being this way. Stop acting like that. Stop punching holes in walls. Stop coping. Like, just share your feelings. Just talk about them more. So yeah, it's like that seems to be the where most of these conversations end up going when they talk about that sort of stuff. It's like, what if men and women are different in those areas?
Well, I think that when I say that we're different, it's almost it goes back to how you said we're different, but we're the same. I think like the priorities and how we handle situations makes us different. Like like I think that we're all born with the same set of traits. I'd have to say we just don't have the priority or the luxury to lead with certain traits. So it's like when people say that men are like logical and women are emotional. It's not that women don't have logic. We just have to we lead with our emotions first before we think about the logic. And then with men, it's not that you don't have emotions. You have to lead with the logics before you could tap into how you feel. It's like, all right, you're in like you have to solve the situation before you could talk about how fucking stressed you were. And then with women, before we solve the we're talking about how stressed we are. And it's like, all right, let's figure out the solution first. And I think that we're kind of same and different in that way. But I didn't even know Destiny felt that way. That like, most people are like kind of the same. I also don't engage with too many people that are like super lefty-ish. So I don't really know exactly because it's hard for me to get through them. Like for for most people, they're like we're exactly the same. But then they say like men should stop punching holes in the wall, and I'm just like, but you gotta start creating spaces for men to talk. Like if you're in a relationship with somebody, they should feel comfortable to want to tell you like, hey, I'm having a really shitty day today. This is what I'm gonna do to cope through this. Support this shit or not, or else I'm gonna keep punching holes in the wall, and then one day I'm gonna punch a hole in your face. That's how these things fucking escalate, but no one ever talks about it. They just think people just want to be violent. I'm like, no, it's something that people continuously get ignored, and it's like the gaslighting. Like I see the gaslighting thing constantly with like people on these panels, like stranger to stranger, and you can only imagine how they are in their personal life because they don't have to control their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
well, I mean, this is just like another thing that I figured out about myself that's maybe a problem within relationships is that I'm always thought of as a very like even-keeled person, very like stoic a lot of the times. But if I choose to be emotional and choose to talk about my feelings and something like that, even if they say they want me to do that, after a long period of time of them never seeing that, all of the sudden, when they get that, I look very different to them now. Like, and I can tell every time this has ever happened in a relationship, I don't think that they're like choosing to look at me different. I just think that that's just what happens. Like, they see a different part of you that they didn't know about before. And it's like it just changes the way that they think about you, and that can be very annoying. Is that like it's like they start to wonder like, okay, I didn't think like anything bugged him that way, so now what all does make him emotional? Like what all does actually make him tick? What all does make him, think this way or get upset, and I just never know about it or something like that. And so like it makes lots of guys just like afraid to ever be emotional or ever talk about their feelings or any of those things, because then it makes the other person second guess them all the time.
Yeah. I think like if people kind of focus on themselves in a sense where like with my man, I think that for the most part I've noticed with him, he never expressed a lot of things, but he verbally, but he always showed it. Sorry. He always showed it, and it always bothered me because I would kind of tiptoe around the situation. And then one day I just like, can we just explain what the fuck this means? Because this really irritates me. And I think like, um, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh, damn it. I don't know. My freaking phone is about to go off. But anyways, I think that learning the boundaries with each other was a key point for everything because I people don't ask enough questions and we don't create that space for each other, and then we get
Mhm.
shy and get weird. And I think as long as we learned the value of each other, like if the value of not wanting to lose somebody, I think changes how much you want to solve the problem. Is that weird to say that? Like I don't know, for you, you don't really care about losing your girlfriend, so that's kind of hard. But like, it's not that I
Wait,
don't care
what?
about
Did you
because
just
you
say
said
that
you
about
like
me?
no, wait, maybe I understood that wrong.
I
Okay,
Yeah, that
maybe
is
you
not
don't
what I was
know it,
saying.
but you do care? No.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying I don't care. I care a lot. Like I like it when they eventually cheat on me or if they want to break up with me. Yes, I get very upset about it. Like the last time, so I say like I haven't been in another relationship. Like I went through like over a year-long depression after the last breakup. Like it was like it literally just broke the inside of my brain. Like I didn't think the same for a long time. I changed as a human drastically. The way that I communicate, the way that I do everything just changed so much. Like I became like a different person overnight. So yeah, no, I
Oh
care a
wow.
lot. It's like the flirting and stuff, like I would say, I trust them to just not like end up being with somebody else, and that they'll still want to be with me at the end of the day. But I do care if they end up not being with me afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes some sense. Okay. So you just don't really feel like you have to put a lot of like pressure onto the relationship. Like it should just be like a healthy amount of effort to want to be there. Is what you're saying? Like some people
Uh,
feel like they have to have a leash on the relationship for it to last, and you're like, no, that's not happening here.
Well, yeah, that's what kind of what I was saying is, yeah, I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to like pretend to be jealous to help them with those boundaries, because I don't need those boundaries. I don't need those boundaries. And if somebody puts those boundaries on me, that's fine. I don't care. Like they can say like, hey, I don't want you flirting with other girls. I don't want you liking other girls' Instagram photos. I don't want you having other girls on like your podcast and flirting with them or something like that, right? That's fine. I don't mind that at all. If that's how they feel, like I want to make them feel secure and feel safe, and so I'm happy to do that. But I'm not going to ask that of them because I don't care about that stuff. Like that's not something I care about. But I started to realize that I probably have to care. I have to start caring about those things because every relationship seems to go the same way where it where they like we break up and it's something about like, yeah, you just didn't seem to like me very much. You didn't seem to care if other guys were flirting with me. You didn't seem to care if I flirted with other guys. You didn't seem to care if I was like saying I'm going out with a guy friend or something. Like you just never seemed to care. And so it was just obvious that you didn't actually like me. And every time I'm like, no, I did like you. Like I did a lot. Like I liked you a lot. I just assumed you liked me as much as I liked you, and that you just wouldn't do anything because I feel like we should trust each other in these sorts of scenarios. But yeah, I think that might be an
Is there like
unrealistic
a line?
expectation.
Is there a line that crosses that could be like disrespectful? Or no?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've talked about this a bunch. Like,
Out.
I think that there's like lots of things that I expect to be intimate within a relationship of mine. So like if she wanted to create an OnlyFans or something like that, I would not be okay with that. Like if she sent like sexy photos of herself to another guy, even just in a bikini or something like that, yeah, I would not be okay with that. Like when it comes to things that I expect to be intimate for us, just between the two of us, then yeah, like I'm gonna have issues with those things, more so based on the boundaries that I want on a relationship and what I expect to be special for us. Because if I allow all of those things with everybody else, there is literally nothing special about this whatsoever. There's nothing different about this. There's no reason why we shouldn't just be in an open relationship at that point. But there are a ton of things that I want to be intimate just between the two of us. It's just some of the lighter things that don't seem to matter so much. Things like flirting or complimenting somebody or hanging out with a guy who's just a friend or something like that. Yeah, those things I don't care so much about.
But do you think like it's the type of girls that maybe you're dating, or do you have like a consistent pattern of the type of girls? Because it sounds like you're like you probably get along with someone that's like closer to your age than someone who's like 10 years younger who probably needs like a lot of attention and like a lot of like attention.
The only time I ever dated somebody that much younger than me was just that one time. Every other girl that I've ever dated has been within 2 years of my age. So, yeah.
And you had the same problems with their emotions, like being super like. Maybe it's because you don't like being touched when you're like down.
Well, so do you know there's a meme that I love, crazy chicks, okay? And it's somewhat true that like I like girls who are just a little bit more like edgy and out there and make things interesting. And there's a short of me talking about like being in a relationship where the girl, we never fought, we never yelled at each other, we never had like any problems whatsoever. And for me, I started talking to like other people and I'm just like, I don't know, man, like everything seems to be perfect, but like she just like nothing ever happens. Like it seems like there's this like passion that's just missing there, where she's just not crazy enough or something. Like if she was just like, if I could just wake up once in a while and find out that she like smashed my car window because she had a dream that I slept with another woman, like that would be awesome. Like that would be so much better. Like it was just like just once in a blue moon, just like not too much to ask for, just like
No, because the blowjob after a hard day won't cut it, but breaking my car window Just to prove to me that you love me will work out.
Not
Tom,
to prove
you're
to me that you love me. No, I'm just saying, just like that. So when you're doing drugs, it like and all the other girls that you're dating are like addicts and crap, like they're freaking out there, right? And that's what I got used to. That's what, like, those are the types of girls that I got used to. And so then all of a
fair.
sudden, when I'm in a normal relationship with a girl who's not like that, who's never done drugs, never smoked a cigarette, never any of these things, never drank alcohol, like, out of nowhere, I'm like, it's just kind of, it was a little bit different, and I got used to it, and it was better, and like I enjoyed the relationship, and it was fine, but there is something about that. Like, I used to talk about Miley Cyrus. Like, I remember one day I was walking past the TV, my mom and dad were sitting and watching that there's this new special on MTV with Miley Cyrus where she's like twerking all over the place, and they're like, what is this? Like, this girl's freaking crazy. And I was like, she is, but I don't know, there's something I like about that. And my dad was like, really? And I was like, yeah, like father like son, right, Dad? And my mom was like, wait, what is that supposed to mean? And I was like, oh, my bad, I didn't know you were there. Like, but I think that Miley Cyrus being loopy is like something that's just a little attractive about her. Like, I don't know what it is.
Oh, you do like the unhinged girls. Okay, so how did you get into your wait, you were into drugs. What kind of drugs were you into?
I was a
And
heroin
how'd you
addict.
care? At what age?
So I started doing opiates at 15, and then I got clean, I want to say 19. Like, when I got arrested, I think I was 19 and was locked up for long enough to where I was able to stay clean after that.
How how'd you even get onto that?
I got a bunch of surgeries in a row when I was younger. I was out of school for literally an entire year, and then got addicted to my medications. And after I healed, I still liked them and kept asking for refills. And when they stopped giving them to me, then I just went and found them other places. And it happened to be there, like the opiate crisis. This was like before I'd never even heard of opiates being addictive or anything. Like pain medication, like, to me, that's stuff that you get on the streets. That's not stuff you get from your doctors, right? Like, it wasn't very well known that opiates were even addictive. And so it was it just didn't seem like I was even doing anything wrong to keep taking pain medication. I just didn't know why I was taking it. And then, yeah, eventually started moving on to harder and harder things over time, and started shooting up heroin.
What age were you doing heroin at?
Probably 17, I think.
Till what age?
I got clean around 19, so yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So it was all in your teens.
Yeah. So yeah, when
Ooh,
I got locked up in 19, and then been clean ever since. But I do still take uh like a Suboxone thing that is meant to like cure cravings, but I take it because I have knee problems. So yeah.
my God. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Did you go to prison? Someone say you went to prison?
Yeah, I went to a PDC. Like, it's a state facility where it's like they do it like military style, and you have to like march and like shine your shoes and all sorts of crap.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah. So we definitely need you a crazy girl. A girl with the unhinged bipolar. Maybe like a Harley Quinn type of girl?
I mean, I like good girls, just good girls who are a little twisted. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it better than that, but I say that. Okay, so look, I say that. That's not what I'm looking for, right? It's not what I'm looking for. It just so happens that I am attracted to that, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for somebody who's a little twisted. Like, that's not something that's on my priority list whatsoever. It just so happens to be attractive. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Okay. So wait, so I think what essentially what it would be a girl who is a reformed, like just unhinged girl. I think that's the only way that probably worked.
Well, so
Like we
like
would.
when I was in high school, I like every girl that I dated was a cheerleader, right? Like I like the very like girly pixie type girls, and they were all like church girls, like the good girls, you know, sort of thing. But then when I started getting into drugs harder and harder, it was the same girls, just they were doing drugs too. And uh and so yeah, there's like this weird mix of like, you know, that problem with them being these, you know, very uh like blonde-haired, blue-eyed, you know, cheerleader, bubbly type girls who go to church and um you know, all of that crap, but happen to be hanging out with a bunch of drug addicts. So.
I don't know. I think like and weird as crazy it may sound, it kind of makes sense because I think everybody kind of likes that. Like I don't even know what the word would be. Like the shock factor. I guess like
Yeah, it's like a
the
taboo.
excuse me.
A taboo.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because I don't know. Like maybe like that's part of why like women. This is unfortunate, but like why they say like women usually neglect the good guys because like, the good guys are like just just good guys. And I think like sometimes they chase after the bad guys because they like the confidence, they like the I don't know, like the recklessness and the sort of and
Mm-hmm.
the tabooness of being with the bad guy. And I think, and I could be wrong, but like with the red pill guys, like when they get with these like virgins and these goody goody girls, there's a reason why they like cheat on them with like the super promiscuous girls because it's like they like the idea of how these girls present themselves because they can't get it all in one. They feel the need to have like multiple girls with all these split personalities that they want to mash into one, which is probably why they have all these thruples and these threesomes, just to like, oh my god, they're all in one room, all my personalities, all my Pokemons are here, and that's probably how they feel.
Do
So
you know the Cake song? Do you know who Cake is? Sorry, my throat is. They have
what's
this
the cake
song.
song?
I think they say I want a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket, and they're kind of saying like, you know, she's wearing something sexy, but she's also completely covered up, and I think that is kind of like a lot of times what I'm looking for is this girl who presents herself as like the good, you know, clean cut girl who's got it all together and is just very bubbly and happy all the time, but is also like, uh, yeah, she's also like very aggressive and like sexy and, you know, does all of the other stuff as well. And so it's kind of like these contradictions that you want at the same time that are unlikely to happen within the same person. And so yeah, that's yeah.
But I always feel like those are the type of relationships like I think that people have to like cultivate and harvest, within like two people. I don't think anyone's ever gonna meet someone and just be that way. I highly don't believe that because I know I'm this way now because my relationship got really good. Like you said earlier, like I've changed a lot. Like I was such like a hoodlum for so long, and it was like my identity, and it was so normal. It was the only thing that I led with, and it closed a lot of doors for me with the way that people interact with me and like with the way that I am now. It seems like everyone's just like, you seem like you're like what, like the way Flacco was like, Angela has a track, what, she's a blah blah blah, because I like the fact that people don't expect my background because it creates a more of like a welcoming, like they're more nicer to me and they don't expect me to like start roasting them and stuff. Because like I started roasting like Tomassi and all these other people because I was like, I could take it there if I really fucking need to. I just don't want to. I don't need to. But I do recognize that that's like one tool that I have that like, most people don't have. But it's actually like really fun. And even my man's like that because he looks like a complete asshole. But he's so sweet now because he was learned that he doesn't have to walk around in defense mode. So I think that like, if when you meet someone that can bring that out of you and you can recognize like you don't have to like lead with that, it's different. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe you have to start hugging the girls even when you're having a bad day because maybe you'll bring that out of the crazy girls and she'll probably lead with her little turtlenecks. So I was like, all right, I'm thinking about it.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, I never had trouble with that. Like if a girl's like having a bad day, I was always very good at like talking them down and like getting them calm and getting them into a better mood and like that. Yeah, that's not something that I
Yeah,
ever
but that's
had
like
issues
one way.
with.
I think like they want to know if they have any impact into your life as opposed to you're able to impact their life. I think like women are used to that, if I'm not mistaken. But like you know how like not to be all weird, but like you've noticed how like women get like a kick out of like men making noises like intimately or like men being vulnerable because women want to know like do I have any impact in your life at all? Like or do you have any feelings to them? Like that's they view it as like if you have impact on me, I'm being vulnerable. But like if I don't have any impact on you and you're not being vulnerable, then maybe you really don't give a shit about me. So I
Well,
think that's
so
maybe
that goes back to like what we were talking about earlier, where if I come home and I'm super tired and I just want to be like, I just want to chill with you and just hang out. Um, if you can't just like turn me on just like this, or you do, but I still don't want to do anything, that can be like very damaging to like their ego of like, you know, I want to be the girl who can just, you know, make him go at any time just because I'm that chick. And I think that like, yeah, that can kind of hurt when you're still like, nah, dude, not feeling it, like not happening. And at the
yeah.
time, I never looked at it that way. At the time, I never thought like that this is like hurting them at all. I just thought like, yeah, they're horny. I'm freaking not feeling it. Like, so they just got to chill. But I never thought of it as like anything deeper than that. And so I think that that's like, yeah, it's something that can kind of make them feel like, yeah, you don't put them on the pedestal that they hoped you did.
Yeah, it's like it's a big knock to the ego. It's like for people. Like did you see how Sneako's ex-girlfriend Rumble wifey girl, like how she looked when he was dating her and then like once they broke up how she like kind of changed her looks. Did you see that?
Um, you're talking about with Lauren?
Sort of. Yeah. Yeah. Like the
So,
chick
because
that was in
Lauren was calling her out for wearing like a, she said that she'd
yes.
never dressed that way. She said that's the first time she's ever dressed that way. I think it was Xena is her name. She said Xena
Yeah.
dressed her that day and that she's literally never worn clothes like that before and she probably won't ever again. And that was just like a one-time thing. So I didn't see this, but I know from what Lauren was showing me when she was on here that that's like the conversation that they were having.
Yeah, but it all came from like, the only reason why she had changed it was because Nico was there. So it's like a lot of these girls would like start off with like being everything that the guy says they want and then when they don't feel like you heard of the 80-20 rule where like you have 80% of the relationship it's like cool but there's still that 20% that's like super potent and when that 20% isn't being extracted in the relationship people look elsewhere so when that girl is dating him and he says like oh I love you I take you seriously but then he's like fucking some super promiscuous like thottery chick that looks absolutely nothing like her she's gonna go and like start emulating how that girl looks, which is essentially what happens to most people because they feel a big blow to the ego, and it's like maybe he doesn't really like me for this like turtleneck church loving girl that I am.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Tom's gonna start tapping into his vulnerable side even when he's having a brutal day now.
Yeah, maybe. Like I like with every girl that I've ever been with, they've always said things like, "Oh, you just seem to understand women, and you like, you know, this always makes me feel like, you know, you get me." And but it there were so many other things that like lots of people would consider very important. That like I'm a messy person. I don't clean up after myself very well. I I'm not always like the most punctual. I can be kind of like a pain in the butt a lot of times. But there were other things that I felt like I had a grasp on to where like that's what mattered to them and that's what they would care about. And like all these other things were just kind of like they weren't going to care that I'm just kind of a mess sometimes because they felt like I got them and we had this like cool connection. But there's so many other things that like I as I get older, the more and more I start to realize, like, yeah, like, I guess I was good at making them think I got them, but I didn't. Like, I thought I got them, and they thought I got them, but it's pretty obvious after a while that I just didn't get them. I didn't understand what I was doing, uh, and again, this is why I just kind of don't do relationships anymore. So.
Do you think like you're the same person you were like today that you were like 2 years ago, 5 years ago? Like, are you still the
Not
same
at all.
person? Do you look like the same thing?
What was the
Oh,
last? What was the last question?
it's still the same thing. Like, do you think that you're the same person? Do you look for the same things?
As far as what I'm attracted to, yes, but um, also no, not at all. So like, um, I was just talking about this right before you came on. I 3 years ago when I first like started my show, I didn't even believe in like evolution. I didn't think it was a thing, and I didn't understand it. Never even looked into it. Never thought it was worth looking into. I was like hyper transphobic, pretty sexist and misogynistic. I was very far right. Um, I was pretty racist, and like the those things just in my beliefs were all very different. Um, the like type of girl that I was looking for was going to be like I the last girl that I dated, she was like moving towards some sort of pagan religion. And I like when we first started talking, and I remember telling her like I will never date a pagan. Like that will never happen. Like you got to be a Christian. I will never ever date a pagan girl. Like that's just not possible. But today, like yeah, I wouldn't care if I dated a pagan girl. Like that doesn't make a difference to me. And even being religious is probably even like points off, and that I wouldn't want to be with a religious person. Um, the but like after so I talk about like I was always like very even keeled and like very just kind of always the same person, always, chill. Like I yell a lot on here, but that's like mostly like over exaggerated emotions. Like I don't ever yell anywhere else in my life. Like nobody has ever heard me yell. People see me on here and they're like, bro, what the hell? Like that's the only difference between me here and me anywhere else, is that I just happen to be a lot more animated here than I am anywhere else. But overall, like most people when they talk about me, the first word that they use, like if like job like past bosses, past girlfriends, family members, the first word they always use is like he's very even keeled. And so once I went through a depression that I didn't even think was possible, I didn't think my brain could be depressed. I didn't think that was a thing that I could ever go through, because I was just so stable, so comfortable, so like had it all together so much. I did not think it was possible for me to ever be depressed. And once I went through that, yes, my brain changed dramatically, like just so dramatically. The way that I think, the way that I talk, the way that I interact with people, it's all just insanely different now. I have become a totally different person.
Did you go through the depression by yourself? Did you go through it with somebody?
What does that mean?
Like, did you pull yourself out of this funk? Like, I think some people get into the depression and like it becomes like the red pill guys. It becomes their whole identity. Some of them don't get out of it. Like I think like with mine, he went through depression during like COVID, like on the finding his last reason to even to be alive. And I think like he went through that. I saw it, I witnessed it, and I was like, holy shit! Like that's like the first time I really realized like to the core the cycle of men really go into depression where they don't speak about like how they feel. They don't know how to communicate it. They're not taught that they can. So I'm curious as to like, did you go through that by yourself? Like, did your family know they went through it? Did you were dating somebody? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, no, so I I went through a breakup, and normally breakups are like pretty easy. Like I don't want to say easy, but I would take like a month or two, and then I'd be fine and wouldn't think too much about it. This one, like it wasn't even like I wanted to be with the person at all. Like I didn't want to be with them. I freaking hated their guts. Um, but the the There's this thing my sister told me about a while ago where she was going through like some sort of psychology class where she says that when your brain is like giving you a lot of dopamine and you're like on a high, and then all of a sudden very quickly you go on a hardcore low, your brain goes into shock, and it like you actually have trouble getting back to some sort of like even medium. And it felt like that's what happened, where like me and this person were talking about getting married, talking about like spending, you know, having kids, all of this stuff for a long period of time. We had goals, we had things that we were trying to accomplish, and then we had just achieved all of these goals. And I like went and bought a ring, and I was like looking for apartments, and I had like so much stuff planned. Like my computer was full of like things that I had already like gotten ready, and I wanted to like show her like I've made like all of this effort, and I've already like done all this freaking crap. And then like, yeah, like 2 weeks before, my mom's coming and tell, she was really close with her too, and was come tell me like, yeah, I was hanging out with her all day the other day, and she's saying she thinks you're going to propose soon. She just can't wait to be married to you and all this crap. And I'm like, yes, like this is happening. This is going to be awesome. And then, yeah, out of nowhere, she just calls me. It's like, hey, I'm breaking up with you. Like, I don't want to be with you anymore. And it's like in the middle of a podcast too, which was weird. But like, yeah, my brain just broke in that moment. Like it I just snapped, and I have not been the same person since. And so the like range of emotions that I like didn't think I had in me, that came out. I remember her telling me like at one point, we talked a couple days later, she's like, I didn't even know like you had feelings. Like this is kind of weird to like hear you talk this way. And so yeah, like no, I had people that kind of knew how hard this was on me, but I didn't talk to people about it, and I didn't really like have conversations about it. I didn't really engage
Wait,
with people on it.
did she do this to see if you had emotions, or like did she actually not like what was?
Who knows? I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you what the hell happened.
Wait, so do you still not? Do y'all still hate each other?
We haven't talked. She out of nowhere just kind of like blocked me everywhere, and it seemed like really weird the way that things were going. But yeah, she just blocked me everywhere, and then at one point just unblocked me everywhere and just didn't really say anything. So we haven't really talked, but there was never like, yeah, like it never felt like there was like closure there or anything. And the amount of like effort, time, money that all just kind of went down the drain and disappeared. Not only that, I had saved up like a ton of money for like weddings and like, you know, new place and all new furniture, all of this crap. I threw it all into the garbage, like over $15,000. Just like I started like sending insane donations on Twitch, and just throwing money at like donating things to any little thing that I could just to get rid of the money, because I just like it felt like I shouldn't have it anymore and I didn't want it. And I just started like the ring, $3,000, threw it into a river that freaking night. Just like, yeah, so many, I lost it. I was gone. So yeah. Yeah. It went on for over a year. Like I was not motivated. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't care about things or people or like anything like that. It went on for well over a year. And like I said, wasn't like I wanted to be with that person because I hated that person's guts. I just don't like, I think I just went into shock and couldn't find my way back.
If you had to go back to that relationship, is there anything you would change on your part? We're gonna take out her part. I'm not saying she's right, but like, would you change the way that you were in anything in that, or do you just feel like you did everything?
Yeah, it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. Is there are I feel like I maybe expect too much of the other person, and where I expect them to be like me, and
Right.
that that's not actually even like an expectation that I should have, and that I should have more boundaries on the relationship, not just to protect myself, but to protect them as well, and that like to make them feel like I care more, and to yeah, and to just like make them feel like, yeah, more secure and safe. And I think that there's like, for me it was just about jealousy that I didn't have, and looking back at it, that's not how I should have been looking at it, but that's how I looked at it in every relationship is, well, I'm just not jealous, so like do whatever the hell you want. And then that would screw me over in the end. But I would just think, okay, well, they're a freaking slut, so like whatever, and then just move on. And then the same thing happened over and over. And so, yeah, now I look back and I'm like, okay, I think probably I should at least start to care or act like I care about these things, because there's a bigger problem there.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense.
Like, I think that it could be healthy for the other person to have boundaries on them, right? So like when I go to a job, lots of times when I'm my own boss, I don't like it. I feel like I need like timelines and somebody telling me like, you got to go and you got to get moving and crap like that. And I think that that's healthy for me. That's better for me. And so I think sometimes for people in a relationship, that's just better for them. Like they can be a better version of themselves with those boundaries and with somebody pushing them. And I think that that's probably something that I should have considered much earlier in my life, is that that is something that some people just need, and that's better for them. And that's something that I should think about more.
Oh, okay. But how did you not turn into like a negative Nancy and just think like all women are hoes and like women are shitty? Like, how did that not happen after?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I didn't become somebody else. I don't know.
Really? Like, you did at one point you just go like dark and it was just like, oh, women all fucking suck. Like that the red pill guys are, where they just like have like two terrible dating experiences and then just like decide not to go down. Well, they decide to go down the dark road. But like, how are you able to like assess that? Like, maybe I am the fucking problem. Like, did you ever think about that or no? Or are you just like taking accountability for everything else that happens in your life? Is that just
No,
like a
I
thing that
think
you do?
I don't know. I don't know. I that might be a little bit too simplistic. But because I don't think it's one or the other. Like, again, I know that I'm not going to have problems if somebody's not jealous, if they don't put those boundaries on me. I know I'm not going to have that issue. So it still seems like it's somewhat of a character flaw for the other person. It's just probably one that I should expect and that I should see coming, or that is probably very common, that that is just a like very normal for somebody, especially for women, like where we talked about like just simple things like flirting is going to be a lot more of an emotional connection for them, where for me, like it's just fun banter. Like and so, yeah, I think that it's more so seeing where I could be better, seeing where I could improve, and then just trying to improve that. I can't improve that other person. I can't fix them. And so
No, no.
I can only like find the areas that I screwed up in and try to be better there.
Oh, okay. Wait, do you have a type, like, as far as, like, race? You don't care race. I feel like you do well with, like, a toxic, like Puerto Rican chick or some shit.
Almost every girl I date is like the Aryan look of blonde hair, blue eyes type girl.
Really?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair
Interesting.
skin, big butt. Hmm.
You're a butt guy?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Like, this is like a cool little venting session. We found a lot about Tom today. Um,
Well,
I don't know.
like I don't think that that's the. I don't think I ever like made that decision either. Cause like I said, I think that just playing football and basketball, I ended up just dating a lot of cheerleaders, and that just happened to be the the people that I was dating, and that just happened to be what I became attracted to most. But I've dated black girls. I've dated like girls that weren't white. It's just the most common theme seems to be, yeah, the fair skin, blonde hair, blue eyed girl.
True. If your ex is watching this, I just want her to know that's not cool. That was so lame. That story broke my heart a little bit. I was like, what? So, super shitty move. Somebody somewhere creeping on you right now.
I'm sure,
But
look, I'm sure she could probably tell a whole different story of what a douchebag I was and how like messy I am and how like irresponsible I was or something. Like I'm sure there's a whole other side to this story that I just never got to hear. So it's possible that there's just a whole lot of crap that makes me sound like the bad guy here.
yeah, I know. It'd be interesting one day to actually hear that side of it. I'm not gonna lie. Be like, but I mean, I feel like you kind of took.
Trust me, I agree. I would definitely think it would be interesting to at one point hear that side of it. We talked for like a week or two after like breaking up and would just keep having conversations about like what the hell, like why is this happening? And she never really had answers and never really was able to, like, when she would give answers, they were just so wildly insane. Like things that like, you know, I didn't like that you spend so much time on your podcast. And I'd be like, you told me that you liked that about me, that like I invested in this and that like you enjoyed watching my shows and that like it was attractive that I was able to like spar with people intellectually and you enjoyed watching me yell at people and crap like this. And then like, yeah, it was just very opposites where like during the relationship, she really likes this thing. And then after the relationship, that's one of the things that she just couldn't handle it. It's like, no, dude, there's no way. So yeah, for me, I just never got an answer because the answers I got were just so unbelievably
I don't think
impossible.
she was able, like, from a woman's perspective, just kind of just hearing from the surface of it. If I were to tap into what I think those were all like scapegoat answers because she couldn't wrap her head around it, like wrap her mind around what exactly happened. Like when you see these like lists and why people get divorced, it's always like, what is it, like finances and communication, but like nobody ever really writes down like he never came home and gave me a hug or some shit like that. It's always like nobody really knows what it is. They can feel it. So I guess like when she says like I hate the fact that you're on your podcast, it could have just been like I wish you were more like emotionally attentive or like
No,
I wish you were more like
that's what it was. No, that's it. That's 100% what it was. It was the time spent doing the podcast. So like I would do it once a week, and lots of times that one day she would be like, hey, want to come over and hang out? I'd be like, nah, I got to go do my show. And then I had this, pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who was my co-host, who I would go and do the show with. And yeah, afterwards I told her, I was like, look, dude, like you literally could have told me to just like quit the show and I would have quit it. Like there's no way that you're going to tell me this is one of the big issues when you could have just told me this and I would have just done it. Like I would have just
wait, if she told you to quit the show, you would have done it?
oh yeah. I even
What?
even after that, I ended up like hating kind of resenting the show for a while and didn't do it for like a month
No.
or so afterwards because it was just one of the weird things that she listed that didn't make sense. But yeah, I think like a lot of it, like I had just gone out of town for like a month and had been gone for a while. I was prepping for like proposing and like getting a lot of stuff ready for that and wasn't spending as much time with her in that in like it was like a 2-week period where there was just a lot that I was trying to get ready the uh, and so like the attentiveness part probably was very true. It's just weird that like 2 weeks was probably enough for her side. But yeah, I think that I think like attentiveness during that 2-week period was probably a huge deal for her.
I think you show like love and loyalty in just various ways that somebody who needs like constant needy attention probably would understand because it seemed like you're saying you would have quit everything for her. Like
I
that's some real.
literally just left my job because she asked me to. I had just quit my job and gone to another place that she asked me to go.
Yeah, no, you're a real one for that. And this is why I always say like men and women just like have different priorities in relationship and what we value so fucking different. And it almost breaks my heart to hear that because I think like um when women don't understand like the ins and outs of like what how to say this, like I think like we all bring something different to a relationship, and all the stuff you do behind closed doors to prep for a moment nobody usually sees except for what you have to do, and then like vice versa here. I think that's why like oftentimes like housewives get frustrated because they cook, clean, put the dish, put the
Mm-hmm.
kids, all that shit, and nobody sees. All you see is like the food isn't it isn't seasoned enough, or like XYZ, the house is a mess, like what the fuck. So it's unfortunate that I think like women don't often see that side of what a guy has to like muscle up and what he's willing to sacrifice. I think like men often show love from sacrificing like whether it's peace, time, money, all these things. And I think like because men are willing to sacrifice that for someone they love, women don't realize like that's so different as opposed to how women show love through like, physical attention and neediness, all that shit. It's so different. But I think that's such a huge thing in like the men's world that if more women understood like what he's willing to sacrifice for you, you would never get out of anyone else, and that's a huge factor that we all look for. And if they were like more, I think like for you, like you're saying, if you were more attentive like verbally, then she was probably going to be able to eventually within time, hopefully understanding that like with mine, he verbally expressed that shit because he was just like frustrated and he was like, but he was barbaric about it, but I had to learn how to like soften it up. So it's like somebody has to like put the foot forward to speak about this, and the other person has to have the patience to kind of like, I don't know, like kind of break down what we both feel, what we both want from it, so that we don't miss that moment of opportunity. Because you sacrificed a lot financially, your time, your emotions, your mental health, and then threw it all away because she broke up with you. I'm fucking mad. I'm mad for you, Tom. We need to get you a new crazy chick. Let's set up a Tinder account for you.
Yeah, and that's what, like, that was kind of, I hate to make it sound so transactional in that way, but yes, like a lot of it afterwards, I sat there thinking, damn, dude, like I didn't ever want her to feel like she owed me anything for all of the stuff that I was doing for her and helping her with, because for us, like, it was just relationship goals. So like me quitting a job and going somewhere else, like that's fine. It's just relationship goals. It's something that like both of us are working on together, because like there's like we're supposed to be a team, we're supposed to be doing all of this stuff together. And so if after a long period of time and talking and like having these conversations, this is what she really wants me to do and I'm capable of doing it, then like I'm just going to do that to make her happy. And I would expect the same from her if I'm asking her to do something big, and that's a big ask. Like if the relationship is that important to her, or like if she cared enough, then yeah, that would be something that she would do, because like, yeah, it's just relationship goals. It's stuff that you're doing together. And so I think that that like at the time, that's the way I looked at it. It was like, this is us, this is our thing. It's not just me. It's not a thing that I'm doing. It's a thing that we are doing. We are making this decision. We're choosing to do this stuff. But then afterwards, once we break up, I sit there and think, oh my goodness, like I just lost so freaking much. Like she lost nothing in this breakup, and I just lost like so much through this. Like this is insane. Like I just lost an insane amount of like money and investments and like relationships and just so much. Like I just sat there just thinking, like, I cannot believe I just lost all of that, like, over the course of 3.5 years, just like giving every little thing I had to this relationship. And so yeah, I think it feels weird to look at it as like such a transactional thing. Like the relationship had like this monetary value to it or something, because when you're in it, it doesn't seem that way. When you're in it, it just seems like, yeah, like we're doing this stuff together, we're making sure that we're getting our shit done, and we're taking care of it together. But afterwards, when that's not the case, and they have all of this other stuff that they get to leave with, and you're left with way less, yeah, it seems like, okay, that freaking sucks, dude. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's again, it goes back to the sacrifice that you had to do. I think the mindset that most men have to adapt when it comes to being responsible in relationships or at any like position in their job or relationship. I think that that's the most frustrating part is like it all goes back to you when it whether it fails or it succeeds. So um yeah, no, bless your soul for that, dude. What the fuck? Why does everybody keep asking about sundresses? What's up with you and sundresses? I
I
feel like
like
I've saw
sundresses. I mentioned one time that I like girls in sundresses. Like it's I mentioned like I like very like girly things. Like I don't know, like ponytails, sundresses, like there's just like very feminine things. I really like them, and I talked about the fact that like um sometimes a girl not being like the most perfect like Barbie doll sort of girl isn't that when we're talking about physical attractiveness, it's not just that. It's a lot of other things that goes into it. And femininity a lot of times can be that thing that still makes them very sexy and makes them very attractive, even if it's not just like their biological gifts. And so yeah, things like sundresses and purses and being bubbly and ponytails and body language and all sorts of other things go into it that still uh, make can make a girl very attractive, and you don't even notice like if she spoke very differently and acted very differently, she might not be attractive at all. But yeah,
Wait,
so
so I
yeah,
take it you have thoughts on the Barbie movie then?
I haven't seen it. Why?
Oh no, I feel like everybody's having like some sort of input on like it being super girly and feminist, like whatever the hell it is. I feel like everybody has their own opinions. I'm surprised you didn't have an opinion on that.
I haven't heard anything about it at all.
Everybody's been talking about it. More men have talked about it more than women, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is there men talking about this girly ass movie?
I
Um,
noticed that Margot Robbie is the person who stars in it, but that's literally all I know about it. Though
is
I
her butt
saw a trailer for it like a year ago.
is it because her butt's not big enough, so you're not impressed with that?
Margot Robbie, she has a butt,
I thought you want
doesn't
like
she?
big spacious butts, like the wobbly wobbly kind.
No, no. If you look at my YouTube Shorts feed, it's like a bunch of chicks doing yoga and crap like that.
Stop, you're low key.
It's
I don't know why. You're like low key so unhinged. Okay. Um, I
I
just
like
think I
it's I couldn't have told people like what all I wanted, like, or what all I'm attracted to, like 3, 4 years ago. Like I couldn't have explained it. I just know that like I just liked chicks and butts, and that was about it. Like I couldn't explain it more. But I remember like I had a girlfriend who had a big butt, and I remember her looking at other girls on Instagram, and she'd be like, "Damn, I wish I had that butt." And I was like, "That butt? No, like yours is so much better than that. What are you talking about?" She's like, "No, that one's way bigger. Like that one's much." I'm like, "No, that's not like just big. Like that's not big. Doesn't mean anything. Like it's like shape and big and like where is it big and how wide like width and like all these other things." I'm like, it doesn't. It's not just that. But I couldn't explain it in a way that actually made sense. Whereas now today, yeah, I can tell you exactly. I can tell you all of it very easily.
Okay, well then pull up the picture then, so we know. I didn't know there's various butts about this.
I am not pulling
But
up a picture of a butt right now.
on your explore page of the yoga chicks, we're not pulling up like a Pornhub photo or some shit.
All right, hold on. Let me see what
We want
pops up.
like Rasputia, like big booty with cottage cheese, or like the one
Okay.
where
And
the
also
butt
Charlie.
touch the thighs, hips, no hips,
Okay. There's
BBL
a
look.
girl named Jules Ari underscore. Okay, it was literally the first recommendation on my shorts.
Shorts. Okay, Jules with all right, Jules Ari. Make this make sense. I don't think I'm looking at the right page. You're just have to send it to me or something. Because Tom, who are you? This doesn't make sense. My man said that white guys generally like big boobs, not butts. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? What's going on here?
All right, here. I will send you the link. Do you have my chat open?
What,
you said you
Discord?
were reading my chat. No, on my stream chat.
Yes, I do have it.
Okay, I just put the link in my stream chat.
Let's look at this unhinged activity. Who are you, Tom? You little rebel. Oh. Okay. All right, Tom. I've never seen this chick before. She is very flexible, I will have to say.
She's very flexible. Yep.
Oh, but I can see like the whole innocent, like the whole like goody goody. Wait, is it
This
just
is
the butt?
like so her like literally if I just damn it, I hate saying it this way, but if I just looked at a picture of her, would not be attracted to her at all. Like just wouldn't be. It wouldn't happen. But then you watch her videos and yes, she's very soft spoken, she's very like very feminine and girly, and like she's got like, you know, the doe eyes and all of that. And so yeah, like it's just like the attraction of like just a picture doesn't say much when there's a lot of other things there.
So it's like she doesn't have like a big butt, but I guess it's a big butt for her body. Is that what we're kind of going for?
Sure, like yeah. So like it's a lot of it's about like proportions. So like look up a girl named Palm B. She's a Twitch streamer.
Am I spelling these freaking names right? Am I supposed to be on Twitch or am I supposed to be on YouTube?
Well, you can look it up on Google or YouTube or anywhere. She's a Twitch streamer, but it's PALMBEE, one word.
Oh, BEE, haha. All right, I see this chick. Oh, okay. What about her?
Like, we pull her up on stream all the time and just sit and watch her streams for a while.
Stop. Okay.
we have Coomer streams, so we'll just like pull up chicks and just sit and just be like, oh yeah, she's freaking fire, dude. Let's go.
Wait, what kind of streams are those called?
Coomer streams.
The fuck is Coomer?
It's
Coomer?
like it's a internet degenerate word for somebody who's just like a horn dog. They're called Coomers.
Do we is this like simp culture then or no? Is this considered simping?
Maybe. Like, you know that part of like my brand is being a simp, right?
No, are you being funny right now? I can't tell.
No, check my chat right now. Just check my chat real quick. Are you looking at my chat?
From the stream right now, right?
Yes, from the stream.
Okay. Oh. I thought it was like a joke. I didn't know it was like a real thing. Little... the little is it emotes? I don't know what these things are called.
Yes. Emotes, yes.
I love using them because they're so cool, but now I see the simp. Okay, this makes a lot of sense.
Well done, chat. Good job.
Okay. So you were part of the reason why the red pill guys are like frustrated because they're saying that the simps are like, you know, inflating the egos of like sex workers. How do you feel about that statement?
Yeah, sure. I love sex workers. They're my favorite.
Okay. If you were to date a sex worker and she made
I wouldn't.
like you wouldn't date a sex worker?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Okay. Okay, fair. All right. All right. I feel so like lost right now. I like did not realize that this was your brand to be a simp. I thought you were joking, but you're serious.
It is a joke. It is a joke. Like, so I
You're serious.
It's a joke because I'll have girls on here, and like anytime I talk to like guys or girls, like I'm just very like easygoing and like calm, and just people want me to be like an aggressive debate bro with them a lot of times. Especially there's lots of women who people really hate in this community, but I'll still have them on, have conversations with them, and just be chill with them. And so everybody starts calling me a simp, even though it's no different than how I act with guys. It's just like the meme now is that like that's how that I'm a simp for women. So we started making emotes and like started using it as a meme.
Do you often have men who like criticize you for that, or just people?
I don't, maybe, I
No.
don't care. Like people, so yeah, so like while we were talking about my girlfriend, there's a bunch of people in chat getting pissed off like, wow, Tom, you quit your job? What a simp, bro. I can't believe you're simping that hard. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. I think that that's lame to like view relationships that way. I think that that's super dumb.
No, no. This is the crazy part about like as a woman, like I feel for you for that. I don't even pity it. I'm more so like pissed because it's like I could see it from your perspective on like how you viewed the relationship and what you were willing to sacrifice. And it was more like you were completely fine if it was for the person you love. I think like when people don't have shit, they take it as like I'm not willing to lose anything else beyond what I already don't have. And for you, it was like no, I worked for it. I was okay with building with this person. I was willing to sacrifice it. So I think that when people hear it, they think like you're simping and like it's a complete net loss. And to me, like losing to know who the fuck you were is so different than just losing. And it's like for her, she walked away, and it seemed like she walked away with nothing. And but I feel like she walked away and lost everything because she's probably wondering like, what the fuck did I walk out on? Because I think generally, like when women think like the grass is green on the other side, and they start dating, and they realize like, fuck, this guy was really chill. I was so okay with so many things. And unfortunately, I think women will take that shit to the grave. They'll never really admit that. And as opposed to like you, and I've spoken to so many other guys, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I mean, I was a bit of a dick. I could have been better. Like y'all are more open to like self-improving and like just being blunt about like whatever it is you fucked up on." So even though it seemed like you threw away like money, ring, and all that stuff, it just seems like who you are now. I don't know who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That you're like super calm, super chill. I mean, even I was like kind of scared to talk to you the very first time because I saw like your reaction and stuff, and I was like, oh, I don't really like to be in combative spaces, but you're so chill. And to me, that's like such a big win as a person to like have like that like hospitality as opposed to people who just walk away when shit gets hard. Like your ex girlfriend. That's a shitty move. Shame on you, lady. And yeah. So I don't know. I hate people when they call people simps. I think it's kind of like annoying.
Mhm.
Because I was debating with somebody about something and this guy agreed with me. Because he agreed with me, everybody from like the opposing side was like, "Oh, you're a fucking simp for agreeing with her." But I was like, I
Mhm.
wasn't even saying anything crazy. It was just being super honest about it, and he got called the simp, so I was pretty mad at them. So
Yeah.
people suck.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that like the things that I get called a simp for, it is a thing that I think like very like sexist, like terminally online sorts of like communities actually think. I think that they actually think that I'm just like being a simp, and that I'm like changing my behavior for women because they're attractive. But when but I've also heard some of them literally admit that yes, I engage with men exactly the same way, but they still think I'm a simp for it just doesn't like the logic doesn't make sense. So it's just like lots of times people when they don't like you, they want you to be this thing. And they want you to be that so badly that they're just willing to like throw all logic out the window and be super irrational to convince themselves that you are the thing that they want you to be. And so I think that that's like a consistent theme that I see online is that people are willing to just look crazy and insane just to be convinced that you are what they want you to be.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And people do that a lot. I don't know why I didn't see the signs of it, but now that it's all coming to me now, like the dinosaur clip where you're like, "I like dinosaurs," or something like that, or like, I don't know what the fuck you said, but it was hilarious, and it's like, "Oh, wait, I see it now."
Yes. Well, and so that's why I show the chat right after, where they're all like flooding simp emotes. They're like, Tom, stop it. What the hell? Boo, Tom. Like, it's a bunch of people pissed off every time. And I literally, you can see I'm like kind of smirking as I say it because I know I'm like the chat's about to explode as soon as I do.
Oh, okay, so they're completely against it. Fair enough. So you just do what you do. Damn,
Some of them are
that's a good.
against it. Some of them are here for it. Some of them are like, Tom, we haven't seen Palm B in a while. Like, let's go check in on her. So, yeah.
That is hilarious. You gotta get her on her then, so you guys can just sit here and stare at her.
She is like one of the biggest Twitch streamers.
Oh,
Yes,
so
like she is.
it's not
No,
possible.
yeah, it's like, Tom, just get Amaranth on here. Just like tell her to come on, just get her on. Like, it's not that easy.
No,
No.
no, because like, what's his name? Destiny just had all those girls on his kick or keep thing, and I was like, how the fuck did they manage to get that?
Oh, I didn't see that. I meant to beg him to go on there. That's it. There's gonna be a bro, please get me on there. I'll go start I'll go start an OnlyFans right now and become an OnlyFans
Oh,
guy.
the
Just
kick or
get me on
keep.
there.
I think they're always asking people to come on there now, aren't they?
Well, I want to go on the one with all the OnlyFans girls. So.
Oh,
I don't want to go on any of the other ones.
Tom, I can't go with
I just want to go. I just want to be there with all the OnlyFans girls. I don't.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay, all right, fair enough. I mean, I don't have anything else to talk about at this point. Where I think the cat's out of the bag at this point.
All right, hold on. So I want to check and see if anybody had any questions. Tom Bombati said, "Hello, I'm a huge Tom simp. I love Tom. Gargle, gargle, simp, simp. Love Tom. I am here to simp. Gargle." Based. Thank you, Tom. Self said, "This is what happens. You use money to please your girls. It's a covert contract. If I do this for her, then she will love me. It's transactional." So that's not at all what was happening. That is not at all what was happening. It was not transactional. We got into a relationship when she was 10 years younger than me. And so I put a lot of boundaries on that relationship. She wanted to get married. She wanted to have kids. She wanted like the whole thing immediately. And I said, no, we won't even live together until we get married. And we're not getting married until you have a career that you're stable in, that you're making your own living off of, and where you can have your own independence and you can live by yourself, and you will never, like, nobody will ever accuse me of robbing the cradle or putting you in a scenario where you were dependent on me and then getting you pregnant and making it where you were stuck with me. Like, that will never happen. We will make sure that like all of the things that you need to do have been done. And so I wanted to help her achieve those goals. And so I would help her go to school and help her with car payments and help her with all this other stuff. But we were never living together, and we were never like conjoined in that way, because I didn't want her to be dependent on me in any way. I just wanted to help her achieve the goals so that we could do these things together. So yeah, it was not transactional at all. It was more so like, this is
I didn't
what we.
that way. I just think like it was almost like, how do I say this? It's like you did everything, but except the one thing that meant the most to like a woman, which is like something that probably you both didn't know at the time. It's almost like you're thirsty, but I keep giving you like food. And it's like I kept giving you everything, shelter, food, hugs. You're like, I just want water, and like water could have been the main component of it.
I said, I didn't
That,
even think about the other things. Like for me, at the time in the relationship, I never even thought about those things very much. Like it was more so just like, this is what we're doing together. This is what we're trying to achieve together. It was never a me doing this for you until we broke up. Once we broke up, then I looked at it that way. Cause now there is no goal. Now, whatever this like moving vehicle was, we split off, and now I'm still all the way back here and you're way up there now. Like I thought we were moving forward together, but we weren't. I stayed way back here and you're miles ahead of me now. And this, like now I look at it that way, and now it kind of sucks. But exactly, Tom, you were hoping for an outcome. Yes, but you're making it sound like Excel, you're making it sound like I was trying to like buy this chick's love or something. And that's not at all what it was. It was that like, it was just about goals. Like it was just about achieving those goals. That's it. Hello 321 said big hugs, empathy. Well done. Thank you. Excel Self also said hugs. Thank you, sir. Don Juan Plagueis 0 said, Trollo, I advise men to get rotations, and this guy is married to older women, LOL, WTF. If someone can get close to that dude and ask how to start one. Yeah, you need to go. You need to go debate Trollo.
I refuse to fly to Vegas for that stupid ass podcast. I'm not doing that shit. Ugh. I told myself I would never put myself in one of those panels ever again, because it's like, it's poorly moderated. It's like a complete like 4 guys against like a girl with an opinion, and then they had those stupid soundboards, and you can't really have your opinion on it again. And then it's like they almost like make you feel like you're delusional when you're talking to them. Like I could say like, no, like not majority of women aren't this way. Yes, it is. And I'm like, maybe it is then. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm fucking dumb now. So I personally hate those goddamn panels, and I'm never going on them ever again. I did tell Natalia, she like messaged me to like check on me to see if everything's cool, and she saw like I had posted that shit on Instagram. So I was like, dude, tell Adam to host a debate with me and dumbass tomorrow. I was like, I would do that, but I don't have a desire to go on that stupid dumbass Access Vegas bullshit podcast to be surrounded by a bunch of like cougars who are like don't know what the fuck they're doing there for clout, and it's so cringy. Like I don't want to be here for that. Ew, it's so, what the fuck are we talking about? So yeah, really weird. So
let's see, Don Juan also said, what up y'all? So not sure you guys saw Trollo debate with Sergio from Purple Pill podcast. Trollo is such a hypocrite, it's not even funny. And then Z King said, it's always fun to dunk on Grand Wizard of Red Pill. It wasn't personal, Tom. We love your baldness. There you go.
Wait, are we still mad about the bald statement?
Yes. Yeah, we're fighting.
Really?
No, not really. I don't care.
Really?
No, shut up. Stop doing that. You're not. No. Nope.
Wait, Tom, no.
I don't care. You can't pout or anything. If I was mad at you, you think I'm a simp, and so now you think you can just manipulate me and just be, nope, it's not happening.
You think I'm some sort of like manipulator or something?
Yes, when you're sitting there pouting, trying to like give me like.
I've mentioned before, I don't like to shame people, but only I like to bully assholes who are assholes.
Sure, but like I said, like the strays are the thing, right? So like I had somebody one time when I was a Christian, I was on a panel, we were friends, but he goes on and starts yelling at these other Christian guys and like dogging on them for being Christians. And I was like messaging him in the background, like, bro, everything you're saying applies to me. Like you're you're dunking on me just as much as you think you're dunking on anybody else. This isn't what you think it is. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like if you have a bunch of like guys in your audience who are bald and you're making fun of him for being bald, all the other guys are like, oh, so being bald is a bad thing. Like, okay, I see how it is. Like,
yeah, no, I get it. But the context, I think, definitely matters. Because I got called a fat bitch, and I'm still getting called a fat bitch. So, I mean, I have to own that title. So, there's so many ways I can
you don't actually
direct.
have to own that title though, like that, because you're not actually fat. He's actually bald. Like that, there's a big difference there.
Okay, but here's the thing: the insults. Like, I have to be able to find. Like, see, I originally, old unhinged Angela was not logical. I was just roasting. Like, didn't give a fuck. Everybody was just gonna get the heat. I didn't care. I was like, I don't even know. Like, what was it compared to? Like, unfortunately, this is not a compliment. But like the female sneaker, where like I was just completely unhinged. I don't like that version of myself. But I like to like bring out the guns for assholes like fucking Tomassi, because it's like it's so I just want to
Sure.
like I want to just be so ignorant to him where he's just like, damn, my suburban ass doesn't know what to do with this little hoodlum. Didn't expect this from a goody two shoes, and I'm like, I know. That's what I look forward to. But he won't get in my face, and I don't know how to get it to him. So excuse their little random bullets getting just about everywhere.
Okay.
The awkward silence.
It's not awkward. It's time to meditate. It's time to meditate on what you just said.
My old quotes to Destiny said, Anja wouldn't let a bi man change her oil. I don't even remember like how I said that. I don't even want to know why I said that. I don't even acknowledge that. So yeah. We're just gonna sit here.
She's a clout chaser. What? Yes, first off, you're talking about people who are running around talking crap about her that are much bigger than her. They have bigger platforms, so it's easy for them to just keep saying things about her. And then she comes onto a channel like mine with what, like, 1/10 the size, or not even, like 1/30th the size, and not nearly as many people get to hear her like give her side or shoot back at him. And so yeah, it would be better for her to be able to be on a platform with him where she's able to stick up for herself. That's one. Two, yeah, we're freaking streamers and YouTubers. We're supposed to clout chase. That's literally the job. That's what we're supposed to do. Like, that's our jobs. Like, that's the whole game. That's what we're supposed to be doing. People say cloud chaser like this is a bad thing. No, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, first off, his username says swag in it. What are you, 2001? Is Soldier Boy your fucking idol? Why don't you have a goddamn avatar before you continue talking shit, loser? Anyways. Yeah, that was interesting.
Low IQ as content. It's not the only person who's low IQ is the person who thinks like trying to get money or trying to get viewers or trying to like build a channel is weird. Like that's the only person who's going to be low IQ, is the person who thinks doing your job and doing what you're supposed to be doing is weird. Like it's like saying somebody is a money chaser. Like, what? That's not weird. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal.
I don't know. These people were fucking weird online. That's why I don't like the Pringles crowd, because they're, even if you're presenting something like factual, these people literally don't want to hear the truth. They only want to believe in their truth. So
okay. I don't know how much time you got. I just realized there's 2 people in the waiting room who want to ask something. You got time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is like the very first time we met. It was like this.
Fuck off.
Yo.
Oh,
you're on the show.
Bring the other guy in first.
Wait, he just messaged me and told me to bring you in first.
Oh, all right, cool. What's up, Tom?
Nothing
Wait, is
much.
that
Man.
here?
Yeah, Angela's here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Angela Knight. I always appreciate when you argue with incels. I guess that's kind of it. I don't know. I was arguing about like early 2000s hip hop with EMP Dave back there, and I was just dragged out of my environment. Sorry.
Who's the best?
Of the early 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
Probably M. Just before that, it was Dre. Just before that, it was Big L.
Did you say LEM?
M. In the
Eminem.
early 2000s, Eminem was everything. 50 Cent was up there. And then just before that, it was definitely Dr. Dre. Before that, it was Big L.
I mean,
in the early 90s, Big L. Rakim was the shit back then.
I understand he got played out, but Lil Wayne was actually after Eminem. Like, he is actually
after
Eminem.
Right after Eminem, I would say correct. The Carter was dope. Everything after that was ass and trash and fuck Lil Wayne, and he sucks and I hate him. Fuck Lil Wayne.
He got played out. It wasn't that he was trash. It was that he just got played out. Like he got overplayed.
No, it was that he thought he could fucking freestyle in the booth like Jay-Z did for his entire career, and he wasn't that good. He wasn't as good as Jay. So he tried to do the same shit. He came up with one good line every couple of albums and shit, but he wasn't that fucking good.
Okay, I mean, all of his really good stuff was still that though. Like, it was still freestyle.
I can't hear Angela at all. Is Angela?
She hasn't said anything. No.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say about the music stuff, only because I wasn't allowed to listen to music or watch TV growing up, so I'm pretty late on, like, I didn't even listen to NSYNC until I was, like, in high school, so, yeah, I'm pretty late.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Amelie was amazing. And then even everything before that with, like, Go DJ, and he was on the Juvenile song with the crap.
I like how you're already referencing other artists for songs that you remember of Lil Wayne, because he was such ass by himself.
No.
Okay.
Bia Bia was good stuff.
Produced by who?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
On that?
It doesn't matter. It's his song. It was his song.
Bia Bia. Come on, dog.
And when I'm talking about Go DJ, that was like one of my favorite songs of all time, dude. That song slaps. That song slippity slaps, okay? That is one of my favoriteest songs. Go DJ still hits.
Listen, I'm not gonna try and hate on the songs that you like. I'm not gonna try and like completely discredit the artists that you like.
I don't believe you.
311 does not exist.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
311 is not a real thing.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, caller. Moving on. Have a good one.
I never.
Okay. Hey, Dave.
Okay, for the record, Vaughn. For what?
He's gone.
Okay. For the record, Vaughn. In the back room, 311 does exist, and they're amazing. We didn't get to them in our conversation.
Base. But let's go, dude. Well done, Dave. Well done, sir. I've been to so many 311 concerts.
Fuck yeah. Amber, fucking great song.
Yes,
Down,
sir.
All mixed up.
Yes, sir.
Great band.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. I see Dave.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I know. I appear everywhere. I like to pop in and give my little hi, I'm Dave. Hi, chat. I love you all. You're awesome. So on the incel thing, so I have a key that I want to shop for people to get out of inceldom. Because the red pill has this whole ideology of you just got to get your money up, you get your body up and everything.
When we say incel, we're talking about like red pill, right?
No, like I'm talking about the people that the red pill are targeting.
Okay.
Because the red pill are usually like the people that are telling them what to do. And they're usually like the successful guys in the field. But I'm talking to the incels, like the people that are involuntarily celibate, that can't get a girl. I'm going to teach you the biggest trick, no matter how you look. I'm not the prettiest guy, you can tell. But it doesn't matter how you look. it's all about how you interact with women. And if you want to be better at getting with women, you got to go do hobbies or something, be places where women are. It doesn't matter if it's in a dating capacity, especially at first. If you've been an incel for a while, don't go in trying to get a girlfriend. Literally just go do some kind of hobby, like play pool. Karaoke is really good. You just hang out, everybody's
just
chilling,
being around them,
just singing, and you just talk to them. Don't like try to hit on them. Don't try to start a like relationship or anything. Just talk to girls.
I
just
always
learn to talk
play
to
the
girls
long
first.
game. Always play the long game. Like, bro, like even what he's saying, don't just hang out with them. Like, have friends that are girls. Like actually, like girls become your friends, and just be friends with them, and just leave it at that. And then they'll have other girlfriends and other girls that you're around because of that. And like, yes, there are ways to just be around chicks that will change your entire life.
Because like the red pills plan would take years for you to be able to get to the point where you could even reach the level where you should be starting to look for girls. Mine takes like a week.
I agree with everything what you just said. I think the biggest thing to highlight from it, if I could just interject, I'd have to say it's not just what you do, it's how you do it. Like if you're going to like be like the best, I don't know, would you say fisher or something like that? Like be the best at it. And I would say like people do it with the idea that they have to attract the girl. And if they don't get that instant result, that's really the problem, because you're doing it expecting the girl to like notice you, and you're not actually doing it to be great at it. To actually like, if you want to be a rock climber, be the best rock climber. If you want to be the video gamer, be the best fucking video gamer. Yeah. Whatever the hell you want to do, be the best, excel in it, because there's always going to be people in that community that are noticing you. And I think that when you excel in that community, it makes you stand out because you're actually really good and passionate about what you do. And people usually gravitate towards like things that they admire from other people. And I think like if we're doing it because we're looking back constantly for like the gratification, or like, you know, like the validation of like, did I do it right? Do you like me now? Like it's so obvious when someone's like in that whole pick me mode.
I agree. Yeah, that's why the first thing, the most important thing, you hit on it perfectly, is stop trying to look to make a girlfriend first. First, just interact with women. Get more comfortable talking to women, because if you're uncomfortable talking to women, they notice.
Well, I think that's why Tom has so many girls that comes on this show, because he's like so like normal and he's not like hostile. So he's just like simpery Tom is what they like to say now. Whatever they call it. But like regardless if anyone has to say anything, like most women like don't want to go on like the fresh and fit shows because it's really hostile. But like more women will go on like Valuetainment because it's, you know, it's welcoming, like this show. Like it's normal. And like at the end of the day, if we're gonna talk about who has way more, like, to be vulgar, who has more pussy on their show that's actually excited to be there and normal and not like fucking in guard mode and in defense mode? Like, isn't that the ultimate goal to have all that?
Other people like realize whatever, they cram all the girls into one teeny tiny little section, and then the guys have like 3 feet of room between each of them on the other side of the table. It's so it's awkward. I don't see why girls want to sit like in that. They're not comfortable. So they're immediately put off their game. When you're on Valuetainment, you have your own chair. You're relaxed. You're sitting. I think they have a much better setup for something like that. I agree.
Yeah. I like their setup, but I kind of hate the direction that it's headed into now. Like I used to like them, but like it kind of disappoints me because it's like since they did the whole collab with Fresh and Fit, I just feel like they've adopted a lot of their crowd, and it's just turned into like, you see the comment in the chat, it's always like, fuck Nat, fuck these delusional women. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with these people?
Angela, that's actually, and like, when we first started talking about doing the shootout panels, this was kind of like a direction that we were talking about heading in. It's just doing like all dating topics, all like gendered dynamics sort of stuff. And but just doing it online, almost like similar to like what a Fresh and Fit is or something like that, but we do it on Discord or on StreamYard with just a bunch of people online. The issue is I don't know all those freaking people. We don't like have a whole lot of connections in those spaces, and so we end up I would say we've done a really good job so far at having an even mix of men and women. But but we started, like, in the last one, we veered a lot more towards, like, politics and crap like that over, like, dating stuff and gender dynamics. So I think that if other channels could do similar things to that, and it's possible to have channels like what they're doing, but just not what they're doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know what would be a really fun? I was on a different channel. It's a smaller channel, but it was actually quite fun. What they did was they had like a bounty thing. Have you heard of that yet? So they would have panels on, and like if the chat donated like $20 to kick someone off, they would kick that person off. If you want to bring them on, you had to bring back on with $20. And it ended up being like actually really heated and fun because, you know, the chat would rather grow to love somebody and would want to keep them on there, and like it'd be like a fight. So like the channel gets to grow, and then like people fight to talk for their part, which that was like pretty fun. I was actually like impressed with that like system, even though I thought the top.
Yeah, the problem with doing that with the people that we're talking about is a lot of the people that would come on here that I know, they're all streamers. So when they have their own show that they're doing on the other side, and then you kick them off, they have to move on to something else. Like, they've got an audience that is sitting there, and so they got to go do something else now and move on. And then if you hit them up and you're like, oh, somebody paid for you to come back on, so it's time for you to come back on, they'll be like, I'm in the middle of another segment, dude. Like, this is going to become a YouTube video later. I can't just, like, in the middle of it go back onto your show and then get off again and then get on again. And so, yeah, like, in the space that I'm in, there's a lot of like harder roadblocks with stuff like that.
I think we could get away with like a 5-minute mute or something like that.
Like, well, that's what I mean. In the first couple shows,
or in the first couple shows as well,
we had like phrases that you weren't allowed to say, right? Like in one of them that was people can do whatever they want, right? And then they would get muted for 5 minutes if they did something like that. Like, yeah, we had similar things, but yeah, I would like to like meet people or girls who aren't streaming and who just like will go on shows and do crap like that. And then, yeah, I would like to do like a lot more panels similar things to like what Playing with Fire does sometimes. Like, he does, every time I watch him, he's doing something completely different. So he doesn't really have a style, but he's got, like, sometimes he'll have just like a bunch of guys and girls on, all like almost like they're dating each other, or it's like quadruple dates and crap like that. He's got a bunch of cool stuff that he's doing.
Those dates are so I can't stand watching them. Alex is so cool, but like, and some of the people that go on those dates, I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on here?
I think I know.
The dates are beyond awkward.
I think we're thinking of the same thing right now. I'm almost positive we are.
I was watching, so I was like, wow, okay.
I'm thinking of Grace Thorpe right now on there.
Yes!
She went on there?
Yeah.
I have to watch this. This has to be hilarious.
Oh, it's so bad.
I can only imagine.
So bad.
It irritates me because she was, for example, like, she was just so mean and unnecessary. I think like all the pressure is up to the guy to do like all the talking, and like I think dates require two people with effort, and half the time the chicks are just like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's just kind of like, these guys are not confident already, and you're kind of making them like have to like figure out things about this girl. So it's like you're making them tap into like more uncomfortable spaces on top of what they're already not comfortable with. And it's just like, I mean, but I get it for entertainment. I won't knock that part because it was quite entertaining to a certain degree. But the Thorpe shit, I was like, this girl is just an ass. Like, she's really just like the cigarette. Like, who does she think she is? Like, Uma Thurman? Like, what is going on here? So yeah, that was cringy.
Yep. But yeah, it's like what Dave said. It's good advice. Like, just being around women, there's tons of studies that show that guys who just make an effort to ask women out or to sleep with women are sleeping with way more women than guys who are just super good looking and not making a whole lot of effort. And so, yeah, like when I say like I always play the long game, I'm saying like lots of times I will just what, like, if I see a girl, other guys are all like immediately surrounding her, and they're all like all around her, like, oh, hey, how are you? My name's, my name's John. I nice to meet you. You look so nice today, like crap like that. And so I'm freaking over here, bro. I'm over there. I'm around, but I'm over there, dude. And I'll be around all the time. Just, I'm not right up in your face the whole time. And then eventually, like, yeah, you just start to meet them. And like, I think lots of guys look desperate pretty clearly, and it looks bad. But also, if they don't know how to talk to women and they don't know how to have like a conversation, it looks bad. And so I think it is better to let things come to you while also being around. Like, you make an effort to be around women, but also let the interaction happen a lot more casually and organically, and that will make it not seem so intimidating. Because for guys, it is very intimidating to walk up to women and approach them. And we're expected to do this. We're expected to be the ones to go make the first move. But that's also intimidating for women. Like, there's also a lot of pressure on the woman as well. And when the things happen more organically, the pressures for both sides seem to kind of fall off, and it's not as difficult for either person.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah, that's what I think. Those interactions are very awkward, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I always feel bad when the Indian guys get on there because they get dragged.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, no, the Patels, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to
to...
Smith a while ago. Smith was saying that he was like, okay, so let's say I go to the gym. How do I eventually like start talking to a girl? Like, how do I approach her? And I was like, you don't approach her. Like, never approach her. But you see her, she sees you, you give her a head nod, maybe eventually start saying hey, maybe eventually, you say hey to her consistently, and now she knows you're that guy and she knows who you are, and like there's some sort of familiarity there. And you're building this like what did Kidology call it the other day? She had a really good phrase that I liked, where she was saying like it's like a distant familiarity. I forget what she was saying, but anyways, yeah, like you're kind of like getting to know each other without or becoming accustomed to one another. Yes, rapport. She's saying that like you're building almost this like distant rapport with one another, indirect rapport. And I think that that's very important. Like, it's always really good if you're playing a long game. Indirect rapport is freaking perfect, where you're just consistently, you see them, they know who you are. They don't, like, if you just walk up to somebody and they have no clue who you are, they're more likely to get the creepy vibe or whatever. But if you're just around and they kind of like feel some sort of familiarity with you, that makes a huge difference. And then over time, yeah, you say things like, oh, I like your shoes, or, very non-sexual compliments and crap like that. It's like, yeah, working your way up to it is generally going to be the best way, because it takes pressure off both sides and makes things a lot more casual.
I think, yeah, that, and also, like, again, going back to saying, like, whatever, like, if you're going to the gym, like, actually go to the gym. Like, some people go to the gym and they're just dragging their feet and they're fucking miserable, and they're also, like, looking around, like, just for, like, validation. I think that people go to the gym and look for some sort of result and actually, like, invest into going to the gym and, like, start some sort of goal. People recognize the growth. I think that's, like, something that women and men often look at. And, like, there's something to actually, like, be proud of when someone's like, hey, like, I like the growth, I like this, I like your shoes, or whatever. Because you know that you're actually standing and making some sort of difference, instead of just being that creepy person, that creepy guy or girl who's like oddly thirsty. It's really obvious when someone's just like there just to exist.
Who's like just sitting on the bike, not pedaling, looking around, kind of watching people. You don't want to be that guy.
Oh,
don't be that guy.
People want the trophy just because they participated. And I think that's the most frustrating part about the dating atmosphere, when I hear people talk about like, well, I showed up. I'm like, okay, so what? I showed up to work and didn't do a great job, so I didn't get paid well either, and it shows. Mm-hmm. So you want it, you work hard, you get paid for it. I think America is probably one of the few places where like you actually work and you actually get paid, you actually congratulated. So just fucking do it. And everybody's just being pansies about it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. 100% agree. But yeah, just wanted to give my take. Final word real quick. We can save Grace.
No.
We can do it.
No, we can.
She's kind of crazy, Tom. I think he's like kind of up your alley.
She's
No.
right there.
Shut
right...
up. No.
Bye.
Thank you, Dave. Bye.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Angela. This was fun.
Thank you for having me, Tom. This is a very pleasant conversation. I appreciate you.
I enjoyed it. I appreciate you always coming on. It's always fun.
Of course. Keep it up. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Later. All right, Excel Self. You seem to keep changing what you're saying. You can't keep like flipping back and forth on it. You were acting like I'm like trying to buy the chick. Like I'm trying to like get them to like me because I'm buying them. That is what you were saying. That, but then what I explained is insanely different from that. That's insanely different from like simping or something. When you're talking about somebody that you're in a relationship with and somebody that you have common goals with and that you're working towards those goals together, that you don't see it as like, these are my things and I'm giving you my things. It's more so like, these are our things. I'm investing in you and your life and our relationship. No, Tom, it's not just paying to get the cookie. You were just grooming her. True. Excel Self, I assume there's a lot more to that than what you just said. I assume you're typing right now. Did you guys discuss and agree upon these goals? Yes, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like when early on, she wants to get married. She wants to have kids. And there were times throughout the relationship where she would say, like, can we just forget about these goals and just like go ahead and get married? Like, can we just go ahead and have kids? Like, I saw, she would come over and be like, I saw a baby today and my womb is hurting. Like, let's just hurry up and freaking have kids. I'm like, no. And we would have these conversations consistently. Yes, we both agreed on them. And we talked about the goals, and there were times where she would say like, I'm getting close to, you know, getting everything done and we're kind of achieving all of the stuff that we talked about. And like it's been years and we're almost there and this is exciting. Like, yes, these weren't just goals that I wanted, like, or that I like put on things. I was the one who put them on there mostly for myself. And well, I don't want to say mostly for myself, for the both of us. I put them on there for the both of us. But yeah, they were things that were there to like protect both of us. Damn, Tom, LOL, you got to tune down the crazy just a tad bit. Wait, I'm being crazy? Today I walked outside. It was a full moon. We need a baby. Yes, exactly. Sounds more like a keeper. Yeah, like I liked it. I thought that was hot. I thought that was dope. That was very attractive for sure. She really sounds like BPD. I don't think she had BPD. Her mom had BPD though, so it's possible. No, the crazy level on the ladies. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you guys did not see, this is who we were talking about. I said this was the very first pop-up on my shorts list. So this is what I linked. This is what I sent her. Oh, I know this chick. Let's go, dude. Trippy liquids. Let's go, dude. We're on the same wavelengths. Eskimo brothers. Top row, last on right. Hey, there's only one row on here. Are you saying scroll all the way up? This? Yeah, she makes videos talking about wanting to be the most flexible person in the world. She always says, on my path to becoming the most flexible person in the world. But I think it's a joke. I think it's a meme because this is just like good ways for her to flex and look hot. And so she just makes videos of it. But like, the meme is that she's doing all of this to eventually become the most flexible person in the world. She knows what she's doing. Well done, growling. Well done. Thank you for that. Thank you. I always love it when I see like just like the most obvious thirst videos and then somebody's in the comments like, she knows what she's doing.